dude up in here.
All right,
What's going
man.
on,
Hey,
Julius?
guys.
Hey,
What's
what's
up
going
with
on,
y'all, man?
Julius?
Nah, we
Nothing.
What's
just
going on,
chopping it up
Julius?
over here.
I read it and said Gary Russell versus a middleweight. That, that threw me for a loop.
It threw you for a loop.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I consider it that, man. Because the
You know
guy's
where that
big, but then
motherfucker like
like people are telling me, "Oh, you making excuses," and I'm like, I ain't making no excuses for him. I still think Gary Russell gonna cook him. But ain't no telling this guy's big, man. And I hear guys saying things like, "Oh, he has angles," which I've seen, but it's like, dude, there's still moments where he keeps his hands down.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. In any fight, a fighter is gonna get hit by the other fighter. So who you are, at some point in a fight, you're gonna get hit. So that guy does have a chance of knocking Gary Russell out. I mean, he's a big guy, and
And he could punch.
and he can punch. It's going to be difficult though because he has. I mean, look, here's another thing. He's too. He's so this is the best fighter that this guy has ever fought in Gary Russell. So he's gonna have some work, cut out for him. But I expect Gary Russell to stop him unless age is caught up to Gary Russell. I don't see him having issues.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, well, I currently got Gary Russell by UD, but I can see a stoppage as well, especially to the body. Dude's been dropped by lesser people.
Hey, that body, I seen it. That body shot gets the dude every time, man. And I think it's because of that weight cut.
Hmm.
No doubt about it. The dude is losing half a person every camp. He going from 180 to 120 every camp.
Yeah,
The guy loses 60 pounds, man, every
he
camp.
could he could probably go up a couple weight classes. Plus, he got a big ass head. So
yeah. Go up a couple weight classes and
He
get
could
beat
fight
the
at
fuck
welter.
up.
I ain't say he was gonna win. It's just
Absolutely.
he can still go up a couple weight classes.
Yeah, that's true.
I got Gary. Gary gonna stop him though. I think Gary gonna stop him. It's just gonna be a clinic, and then it's gonna be a stoppage.
And you know what's crazy with Pacquiao's gym? Because Pacquiao went all the way up to welterweight. More Filipino fighters should try to get a little heavier to be in some of the more, illustrious divisions, things that get more shine on Pacquiao's camp. Look at Isaac Cruz. Go up there at 135 and fight his crazy ass. That'd be some interesting shit.
He already looks like he's in that weight class already on fight night.
Mexio?
Yeah,
Yeah, Mexio look 140 to be honest. Everyone he fight, he looks like he's fucking 140.
he couldn't kill it. I wonder why though. You think he doesn't want to fight at the weight classes, higher weight classes, because he'll get cooked, or is it just
That's exactly it. That's why most people. I mean, what other reason do you have to even cut? You have to try to box where you think you're going to be most competitive. So like a lot of dudes probably feel most comfortable fighting a heavyweight, but heavyweight is now a game of height. If you're not like 6'4", 6'5", you're pretty much not going to be that competitive because like Mike Tyson was like the last of the regular size fucking heavyweights. Like I think that like Frank Sanchez is on the shorter side, and that nigga like 6'4". So yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
It's
I
for
mean,
advantages.
man? Roy Jones said it, and I'm starting to see it, man. He says our generation of boxers we focus more on the strength and conditioning aspect of boxing more than the skills and technique. And I feel like it's true. I feel like a lot of our fighters, they just be going hard in the gym, weightlifting and doing certain exercises and shit like that. But come a fight night, these guys can't even slip a fucking jab. You know what I mean?
Anthony
But be
Yard
big as
looking
shit.
asses.
But be buff as shit. Gas tank on full.
Yeah,
But
Daniel
you know what I mean?
Dubois, Anthony Yard.
Anthony Joshua, shit.
Oh
Anthony
hell yeah,
Joshua.
definitely Anthony Joshua. His big ass
Heard.
Until, until that dumbass nigga decided to lose weight to box the better boxer.
idiot. All you have to
Look,
do is
the reason
punch
why I
him
picked
and
Joshua
lean
to
on
win
him.
at first, the reason why I picked Joshua is because I thought Joshua was going to be smart in going big and use his muscle and try to muscle him. But instead, he did the opposite.
Yeah, I picked Usyk by decision because I didn't have any faith in Anthony Joshua to do what was necessary. And lo and behold, lo and fucking behold, I didn't get mine. I didn't even think he was going to lose all that weight. I just thought he was going to go in there being dumb, and turns out he did both.
Yeah, but I thought Joshua was gonna win by stoppage because I thought Joshua was gonna, like he said, be smart enough to bully Usyk. You know,
Oh, he stayed. He
it's
stayed
like,
right in punching range the entire fight and just got tagged.
uh-huh. Like this dude's a fucking idiot. He got this nigga Usyk got him having a fucking existential crisis, thinking he's a black fucking American now and shit.
I'm coming for them belts, boy.
I'm coming for the books, boy. Nigga, he
Yeah,
said he
Who
used
said
to
that?
look. He used to, AJ. He said he used to look
Yeah.
up to fucking Big Meech and all this other shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're a
even
fucking
even
cornball.
even most gangsters didn't look up to Big Meech and all the people he named. That's why people that made YouTube videos about AJ were like, "Bro, what you talking about? Niggas that like got locked up immediately for?" Like they like they weren't all like Tookie Williams that spent a lot of time in the community. These niggas got locked up like off the top. Like they barely had any influence. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Big Meech though. He was one of the drug kingpins that lasted for a while. You know what I'm saying? He lasted. His downfall was trying to get in the rap game. You know what I'm saying? That was his downfall. Should have just remained a kingpin drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I honestly, yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100. When it comes to that, I feel like law enforcement allows these guys to do this, allow them to do that type of stuff until they start getting involved into big money transactions,
Exactly.
like
Right.
trying to start a rap business.
When they start trying to clean that money up, that's when they
Yeah,
step in.
That's when they got nipped.
hmm
That's when they got
yeah.
nipped. Nip was turning his rap empire into a commercial real estate empire. Then all of a sudden, oh, he had oppositional problems. Shut up.
Yeah, gang war, and then everybody
Yeah,
just wrote it
Not
off.
even just fucking real estate. He's getting into the tech game, you know, with what's his name? I forgot the dude's name. Damn, I gotta look it up. But he was helping this
The
one
one that
dude,
the one that invented Streamyard.
the dark skin. He's a dark skinned dude with dreads. I forgot his name, but he was helping him get into Silicon Valley and things like that. So he was making big moves as well. And I feel like that's what once you try to influence the community in a positive way, that's when they take you off.
You got to
I
go.
truly believe that.
and it's just funny because after Nipsey Hussle died, you know what was interesting? Not a single gang came up and took credit. No ops whatsoever. Not a single opposing gang came up and said, we did that. Da 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 da. It was all just condolences.
Yep, it wasn't no yeah smoking on that nips pack or no shit like that. It was none of that. It
Nope,
was
not
straight
a
up like,
single
man,
one.
like this shit's sick. What the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, that's what's hilarious. That's what's hilarious. And like the streets, that's why the streets were quiet about it because nobody knew who did it. Nobody understood. Like I mean, the streets were
They
talking
knew
about
who
his.
did it, but they didn't. They're like what would possess him to do it?
Well,
Right.
like
it was
that.
they were all like it wasn't us. Like none of us did it. We like they know that them people, quote unquote, them people got them, but it wasn't none of us. It wasn't the streets.
It was not the streets, man, and it's messed up, dude. And it's like, if stuff like that can happen outside of boxing, what makes you think they can't happen in boxing? Especially if
Well, I
somebody
mean,
has a big influence,
think about it. It's
like
happened
an
in
Ali.
boxing before. It's
Yeah,
happened in boxing before. We got to go back a long time, but it's happened in boxing.
They
And the
killed
way
Sonny
that you
Liston.
silence, to me, the
yep.
way that you silence an athlete is that you silence an athlete by hitting him in his pocket. So you know what I'm saying? So if we had an Ali of today, you know what I'm saying? I think that basically what they would do is they wouldn't necessarily blackball him with fights. They would give him a fight. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, look, we're gonna give you this big money or whatever, but you gotta tone it down. And man, I'm telling you, bro, just like in the even in what you do, Art, man, these guys give some of these cats a check and they change their whole tune of the things that they say. We've already seen it. I mean, like I say, we talk about him all the time. My man, barbershop conversation. You know what I'm saying? They pay these guys off. Next thing you know, they change their narrative.
Damn, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. I didn't
I
want to
like
say
the
it.
guy. It's the truth, though,
Wait,
bro.
wait, 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 wait a minute. Hold on. What'd you
What?
say? What'd you say?
What? I
Yeah,
said,
You said
it's true.
somebody got a check, and then what?
I said they got a check and then they changed their narrative.
Yeah,
And you said somebody by
Who?
who?
What y'all talking about?
Barbershop conversation.
Oh
damn.
man.
Yep.
I like the guy,
I
but
didn't want
hey,
to say
man,
it, but damn it.
guy got a check, man.
And you know what's so crazy, man? I looked at it one day. I looked at it, and that's the reason why I made that post, D Hop, on Twitter. I was like, yo, there's such a rift in the black boxing channel community that it's just like, I'm glad I ain't aligned or have some type of allegiance with just one side, because it's like, shit's crazy, dude. You ain't no telling, dude. I'm telling you, when Wilder, this whole Wilder Fury situation, I feel like we were super strong, man, to a point where it's like, dude, like, now this is becoming bigger than just boxing. You guys
Yeah.
are letting this boxing influence is now becoming something real. Man, there's a reason they ain't just closed off the way in to the public for no reason, bro, for COVID. Hell no. They knew that Wilder had a real life backing where it's not just a bunch of fans, it's a bunch of fans with a voice, and we big strong brothers. Like, motherfuckers was like, hell no. Like, this is too much. It's too much of an influence. Wilder had people in the gym working out. Wilder
Mm-hmm.
had people buying shirts that says back in blood. Get it in revenge. Get that shit in blood. Only way we see it now is taking blood. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that shit's crazy, man. And then you don't think that the higher ups are looking at this Wilder character and saying, damn, how does this guy have, why does he have this type of influence?
Bro, check this out. If we didn't get a real long count two times, okay, the first fight and the third fight, he got dominated in the second fight. But the first fight and the third fight, if the first fight, if we didn't get a long count, I don't think we would have got a trilogy. So you got to understand. Could you imagine his wife empire, his empire, had he won that fight by knockout? We have to take into consideration, man. Things happen, and we just look at the surface, and we be like, "Oh no, he lost this fight or that fight." We don't know the things that go on behind doors. And I'm not saying that a referee intentionally slow counted so he wouldn't win. I'm just saying that there are things. Yeah, I hear you. I feel you. There are things that go on, man, that got a domino effect. Like I say, if Wilder wins that fight by knockout, him and his wife has an empire, man. So they doing different things in the community. You know what I'm saying? They selling cologne and and perfume, and just imagine how many different avenues they would open for the black community. And that's the one
It,
thing that people want closed.
and that's the thing. It's like too much was behind Wilder winning that fight. And I always
Right.
bring it up. Boxing and heavyweight division is a part of American culture and history. The symbolism of an American champion, heavyweight black American champion, means a lot. And they know it. They seen it throughout the years, dude. The director of the fucking CIA was at boxing matches,
Yes.
watching,
Yes.
seeing what's
The
going on.
FBI
The FBI, yeah.
taking drug cases at Ali fights. Documented. Let's see who the big ballers are.
Oh,
Let's go to a Ali fight. Think about that. That's they made drug cases of seeing if a black guy got on
isn't that
mint
how they
coke.
got what's his name? Frank Lucas,
Right, right.
one of Anthony Joshua's heroes.
Yeah, that's documented. Hey, look, hey, look,
Oh
man.
shit!
Hey, Frank Lucas, he definitely was a snitch, but he was from my home state, so I'm gonna give Frank Lucas a shout out from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm gonna shout him out, but he did snitch. But
Hey, so did
again,
Joseph Parker, man. Fuck that shit.
yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you though, bro, like even what you said about Joe Lewis, okay? When Joe Lewis fought, all the black people in all the communities went and hovered around, you know, radios and stuff. And when he won, the black economy boosted. Man, we can go back to Tulsa. You know what I'm saying? That was during the Joe Lewis times. But I know the show ain't about that. I know we talking boxing, but I'm just telling you,
Hey,
man, there's
we
so
talk
much.
about whatever on my channel. Ain't nobody
I
paying
got
me
you.
no check to say anything.
But Wilder already has an empire though with all the 3 fights worth of work he didn't put in. So
I agree.
that's already secure. But I understand what you're saying because after the first fight, if he had got that shit by knockout, Fury would have took that bread, snorted that shit, and probably killed himself.
Probably
Nah, real shit.
That probably would have been it. Because what else
that's
is his career? What else was his career on? His career is Wilder. That's it. That's
that's it.
it.
That's why
That's,
now he want to be on some like, me and Wilder are best buddies, like like Muhammad
right,
Ali and Frazier. Nah, nigga,
right.
it's not that, bro. You cheated in the first, second, and the third fight, bro. You'll always be a cheater, man.
You
And
cheated. You cheated multiple people. He cheated Christian Hammer. He tried to cheat Klitschko. He fucking like he just cheated a grip of people.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely John McDermott. Even UK people. That's before UK people even gave a shit about Tyson Fury, and to be honest, they still don't. But yeah, they even say John McDermott got robbed.
History of it.
No, I recall the Chris. Shit. I recall that the Christian Hammer fight was supposed to be ruled a no contest, but I don't think that Fury has a no contest on his record for obvious fucking reasons. But let me go ahead and look it up while I'm talking shit.
And I tell you one thing, he had lost that fight to Wallen. Now, if that was any fighter in the world with a cut like that, they would have stopped that
they
as a
would have
TKO.
stopped that.
You know what I'm saying?
I posted
Like,
on
let's
fake
be
Twitter. I
real.
said, dude, Tyson Fury he gets the type of extra help that certain fighters don't get. Why
No,
is that? Why Fury?
right,
Yeah,
right.
it's
What
it,
has he
it,
done? He
they
ain't no
only
draw like that.
they only
Yeah,
give
it's
them
not a draw.
they only give him special protection when a black fighter could potentially beat him. Same with Canelo, Valdez, etc. When anybody black is in position, all of a sudden the rules got to change.
Well, they changed the rules in that Whalen fight because Whalen won that fight. I mean, the guy couldn't see the cut was. And here's another thing: even in that fight, I still don't think he won the fight. I thought Whalen won the fight by decision, but he got the decision. But it should have been a fourth or fifth round stoppage.
Because I know they stopped Durrell quick as fuck.
Hmm.
I know they stopped fucking they shit. They stopped the Marcus Brown Jean Pascal fight off a cut.
Oh yeah, and and and,
So
and
And
that's
he
the
had one of the
like,
worst cuts that is. So it's like,
yeah,
bro, what?
yeah. And I'm telling you, bro, that Marcus Brown and Pascal fight, that was one of the weirdest fights ever, man, because Pascal landed like 35 punches and Marcus Brown landed over 100. But the knockdowns won the fight. You know what I'm saying? That was the craziest thing. But
But then
but
when Wilder fights Fury, the knockdowns don't mean shit.
right,
literally nothing. They say that Wilder only won the rounds where he got the knockdowns, and he didn't
right,
even win the 12. So he basically they're saying that Fury 11-1 Wilder, but we giving Wilder the luck of the draw. Like, all right, bro.
right.
Also, I don't mean to segue, but I'm rewatching some Charles Martin tape. Is Charles Martin coached by a Mayweather?
No, Manny Robles.
Because I'm seeing one of Mayweather, like one of the Mayweathers in his corner, not Senior and not Roger, but the other one.
Jeff. But you talking about Jeff? But Manny
Yeah.
Robles is his trainer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think well, no, that's not Roger. Yeah, I was seeing one of like the dirty looking Mayweather, like the one that looks homeless.
Hey man, shout out to Jeff, man. Jeff's a good guy. But yeah,
But
you talk about Manny Robles is the head trainer.
okay, so he was just in the
He's
corner assisting.
Andy
Okay,
Ruiz.
okay.
Yep.
Charles Martin's still getting his ass whooped, but it's all good.
You
Yeah.
said he
I
losing?
hope
Yeah, he
I
getting
hope
his ass whooped,
Charles
bro.
can do something. Hey, look. To me, the best thing. Now, look. Another thing too, though. I mean, they got to have VADA testing because Ortiz a cheat too now. You know what I'm saying? Shit,
Yeah,
yes.
it's gonna be a tough fight, man.
Cheat.
I really don't know who I got on that one, to be honest.
Hey, and we don't know how Ortiz gonna look now. Them two Wilder fights. Wilder don't knock you out and you come back the same now. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some
And
special help.
and that's why I want to see Fury. I really want to see his next match because I want to see if he's gonna use the same gloves. I want to see I want to see everything because I feel like it's really testament to see if he really did what he had to do in that fight to win. Because it's like, yo, you are a drug cheat.
Yep.
You've been on drugs all your life, or
Yep.
most of your life.
Yep.
His next
I
fight
want to
getting
see
ready
the
to
after
be.
effects of you not on the drugs, or I want to see if you're gonna decide to be on the drugs in the fight against
Well,
Wilder.
I'm sure he's not gonna fight anybody worthy.
Yeah, he's probably gonna fight Adrian Cabiel like he tried.
Yeah.
Because he already said he's not fighting Dillian White, but he waiting on Usyk because Usyk got Anthony Joshua problems. So he probably gonna fight Adrian Cabiel and some other fucking bums that they got over there heavyweight and call it a day. He'll probably fight ZZ Zhang, that dude, fucking
Yeah.
Big Bang Zhang. He'll probably fight that nigga and then probably wrap it on up. Because what else you doing?
True.
What else are you gonna do? What fight?
Take
Fucking
over
wait for
all.
AJ? Like what?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about AJ, man. I heard y'all talking about AJ and the things he be talking about online. This guy has to be when he retires, man. That situation with Deontay Wilder is gonna haunt him because there's no reason, in God green earth except something that we talked about earlier is that these black people won't speak up for themselves. There's no reason he should allow Eddie Hearn to talk him out of going into that Deontay Wilder fight. He could have been
I
the
know he looking
trilogy
back at it
to
now.
Wilder.
I know he definitely looking back at it. He probably looking at that shit right now.
Now,
Easy 150 million. Easy.
right.
Fucked it off for nothing to get your
And he
ass
would
whooped by
have
a fucking cruiserweight.
and here's the thing. He would have got stretched out in two fights, but getting stretched out by Wilder for 100 million twice is better than losing to Andy Ruiz and then losing to Usyk. You know what I'm saying? And beating
Usyk,
Andy.
Because
bro.
it's like this. It's like
Usyk.
this. Wilder and AJ got two losses now. But look at Wilder's losses compared to AJ's losses.
Right,
look how the public perceives both of them right now.
right.
Because the public looking at AJ like, look at you, got your ass whooped by Ruiz, and then you
Yeah,
got your ass whooped by Usyk. What the fuck? Two small guys, and then you have Wilder. Well, nigga, you lost twice to a man that's fucking 6'9" on drugs, and whether you believe it or not, the glove still looks funny style. That's what he lost to.
yep,
Somebody that's known as somebody better than him. You lost to somebody that's not considered, that wasn't even supposed to be in the ring with you.
right.
It's fucked
Yeah.
up.
AJ probably feeling right now how Nicolas Cage is when he turned down the role of Neo in the fucking Matrix. Now this nigga got to do fucking straight to DVD for the rest of his damn life to fund his drinking habit. He's sitting back there like, God damn, kicking himself. He got to wake up every morning and go to fucking work, just like AJ is.
That's right.
Smooth 150 million. You done fucked off to get beat up by garbage. Fucking Andy Titties Ruiz and Cruiserweight Usyk.
Or even better, he feel like Dennis Schroeder when the Lakers offered him like 3-4 million for 100 million. He ended up signing with the Celtics for 5 million for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? It's
Retarded.
huh? The Celtics. The Lakers offered him last year, yeah, like 3 or 4 years over 100 million, and instead he said that he gonna try free agency, and he went out there and signed a 1 year deal for 5 million. You know what I'm saying? So the
Dummy.
stupid moves,
Dummy.
the dumb moves the athletes make, man.
And of course, what happened? What happened his next fight? He fucked around and got beat by somebody he wasn't supposed to. Like right after, maybe not his next fight, but you know that's what always happens. Like the people who avoid Devin Haney, they end up losing. Motherfuckers who avoid Wilder, they end up losing.
And you know the crazy thing about the Devin Haney situation, man. Um, those lightweights, I said that this morning on Art Man. I don't see any of those guys ever fighting Devin. And I never see Devin fighting for an undisputed title because number one, the WBC is not backing him. So it's not like they pushing him for the undisputed. They already trying to throw undisputed somewhere else. The second thing is Devin gonna be able to hold that weight down in order to be able to get a unification? Because the only way
For
I
that
think he can
long,
get a
yeah, right.
unification, the only way he could get a unification is Tank Davis. Tank Davis to me is the only lightweight that are really fighting. But man, you got to think, man, the guy can't hold that weight for 6 more months, 9 more months. And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. To me, the best fighters fight better when they're closer to their natural weight. You know what I'm saying? You
That
fight better,
that's
like
everybody.
yeah, like, you know, Devin's just too big for 35, man, and it's just Andy guys don't want to fight him. So I swear, and I mean this, bro. He got a lot of competition up at 140, and I'm talking about young guys his age that are ready and willing and able to fight him, and would fight him at a drop of a dime. He would get 50 guys ready to sign a contract to fight him if he goes up to 40.
I well, I disagree on 2 points. I disagree on that part, and I disagree on Tank fighting him at 135. Tank not gonna fight him either, under no circumstances. And
Well,
Leonard Ellerby has already laid the groundwork for that. Do I think
well,
he would get? Do I think he would get more fights at 140? 100%, because the people at 140 probably believe that goofy no power no chin shit too, and they will sign up and get embarrassed. But do I believe he would have a bunch of options? No. He would like
I think
the
I
top 10.
think
The
that
top 10 would
Gary
want to fight him.
Gary A. Russell will fight him. I think the Puerto Rican, the black Puerto Rican would fight him. Um, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that Richardson Hitchens will fight him. I'm talking about guys his age. I think that those three
Richard
guys
Richardson
will
will
definitely fight him.
he'll get smoked by fucking
Hey,
Devin
oh,
Haney
I
at
agree.
140.
I
yeah.
agree.
The
But
top
I'm just
10.
saying he would take the fight.
The
He would
top yeah.
lose,
The,
but he
the
would take the fight.
the top 10 would absolutely fight him, but also you named a bunch of people who are still contenders and don't have any belts either. The pe-
Yeah,
the
but
person the
hey,
person at the top, I doubt would risk fighting him at this point. But when he vacates, yeah, I can see Haney having a good time up there at 140
you
when the
know
belts are
Josh Taylor
available.
gonna hold them belts hostage, man. I mean, look,
How
man, he
long can he
already
make the
talking about.
140?
He waiting on He waiting on Terrence Crawford next year.
Well, then Terrence Crawford should go ahead and sign up and fight this guy, and Josh Taylor can go ahead and vacate all four belts, and then we can get some real, true, monster fights, in my opinion. And look, to me, and I've said this before, Art Man, D Hive, Gary A. Russell would knock out Josh Taylor tomorrow in a fight.
Yeah, that's
That's
facts.
my opinion. And he got
Y'all
what,
got faith
13,
in him like
14
that?
fights.
Yeah, Gary
He's the
Anthony
truth.
Russell will beat Josh Taylor
He's
ass,
the
bro.
truth. He beat he beat Boots 3 out of 4 in the amateurs too. I mean, the guy is serious, man. He's a serious fighter, bro.
He's just a silent killer.
He's a serious fighter, man. He
Yeah,
gonna be
he'll
the best out of the Russells.
Yeah, he'll beat Josh Taylor ass, bro. But yeah, I think honestly, if there's a situation where Josh Taylor vacates, then I think that Devin Haney should drop the fucking WBC, probably go the IBF route, and then head on up to 140 and start doing some damage. That's when I'll agree that he should vacate. But until that time, he just needs to sit tight, maybe get 2, 3 more fights in, try to push for the Camboses, even though it's not gonna happen, and then take off.
Dude, he got 3 fights left in
Vice
his
left,
body.
right. Out of hell, no, I don't think he
I
got three
don't think
fights left.
so, bro.
I
I don't
mean,
even think he got. I think he
how,
got that
he
one last
he's
fight with George
23.
Kambosos left, and that's it.
He's 23, and he said that he's currently comfortable making 135.
He's no, that's not true. I
That's what
That's
know
what
he.
he
I
said.
know
That's
You
what
for
he
a
can
said.
see
fact.
in his
I
performance
know
that he's not comfortable. When you look at his performances, that dude not comfortable with that weight.
bro, I'm
I'm
gonna
going
tell you
based on
this.
what he said. He said that he's comfortable making 135. He said he has to put in some work, but he said that it's not draining. That's what he said.
Of
Bro, I'm
course
gonna
he
tell
gonna
you.
say that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna tell you from a guy that's in Lorenzo Simpson camp. I won't put his name out there, and they be up there with him in Vegas, bro. He talked like he hold it all until the night before the weigh-in, and he has to drop like 6 to 8 pounds the night before the weigh-in, bro. The guy, to me, I don't think that he got more than one fight left at 35.
Well, then that's probably why people aren't fighting him. If people are spreading that kind of information around, they're probably just waiting until he leaves. That-
Wait. What did you just say, Julius?
A guy in a camp, I don't want to say his name, but I will say the fighter name. He's in the camp with him. Says that he holds his weight before the weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? The night before the weigh-in, and he's losing 6 to 8 pounds sometimes the night before the weigh-in to burn off the extra weight. You know what I'm saying? That he's just holding the weight. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
it's a struggle. It's a very hard struggle.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about it. He's what, almost 5'10". He been fighting at 135. I mean, he fought at what, 132 in the amateurs when he was 17. That's over 6 years. 7 years, and not even counting the few years before that. Like a grown young man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and if people are leaking this information, this definitely explains why people don't want to actually fight him because people are just waiting on him to grow out of the fucking weight class. But meanwhile, we got middleweight Max who's fucking 26, still managing to make 126. So, but
Right.
but of course, Devin, we just gotta wait on him to move up in weight. So it's a shitty situation for Devin. It really sucks. It really does. And we're being deprived of big ass fights because of it. Because Lomachenko versus Kambosos, I can't wait till those fucking numbers come out.
Well, but my thing is this though, D Hive, and I've seen this happen before, like with Diego Corrales, who was actually bigger than your man Haney is physically. He was 6 feet. I mean, to me, I think you can make super fights at any of them small weight classes. I mean, like I would give 140 its credit. You know, two of the last three unified undisputed champions came from that weight class. So everybody at that weight class, it's been, documented through
the last 20 years, people fight at that weight class. We could go back to Costa Zoo and them days at 140. And even when Chavez and Pernell Whitaker, like people fight at 140, historically. And I just think it's big fights there, man. To me, now, we really want to see him shut out T.O.?
No.
What
And
who?
then you got to think like this too at lightweight. You've already said that Tank's not going to fight him. So Cambosis has made it clear he's not going to fight him. So Loma has made it clear that if he get the title, he got people to fight like Burchett and maybe Shakur. I mean, to me, the only fight he can wait on if Tank's not going to fight it is Shakur. Other than that, what are you hanging around that weight class for when there's
But ain't
so
they friends though? They not gonna fight them dudes like best
Wait,
friends, ain't they?
wait, hold on. But you said who did we want to see Haney fight?
No, I said that those guys are never. None of those guys are going to fight him. So who is left? Because he's only fighting pretty much exclusively through the matchroom situation. Like if he can't get any of these guys at any of those weight classes to fight him, the only avenue for him to get a big fight is to vacate and become a mandatory. Because
Well,
who does Matchroom have for him to fight?
when I mean they could break him off any one of their little ass stable to keep him busy, but nobody notable.
Talk about stay busy fights. I'm talking about the big fights we want to see him in. Who
The
does they have?
the biggest fight they have, the biggest fighter that they got on Matchroom for Haney is probably that Williams Zapata dude. That's about it. So nothing
That
really.
nobody know him. So at some point, I hate to say this, we're gonna have to start to blame Bill Haney because now his son, he moving his son and making great money, but us the public want to see him in big fights, and we don't see any fight on the horizon as long as he's with Matchroom. I mean,
Well,
nobody's gonna help Eddie Hearn.
I
I don't
totally
think
agree with
it's
I
fair.
totally agree with what you just said. Like the problem with what these new boxers doing right now, they trying to go the Money Mayweather route without doing the Pretty Boy Floyd route first.
Absolutely.
Like you can't jump into the motherfucking game already on promoter, already demanding this for a fight, already trying to
Hmm.
make this. You can't do that because like you want to get like 10 fights in, 20 fights in, and you making $3 million a fight and shit like that. Now that we try to get a big fight in, they gonna have to pay you like 5 million, 7 million, and nobody's gonna pay you that much fucking money.
Hold on. So wait. So basically, what I'm hearing here is that the reason why Devin Haney's career is going the way it is not because the people that he wants to fight that would make big fights that are completely available are actually avoiding him, and the politics are 100% against him. Is because his father and him have done business in a way that gets them the maximum reward for the competition that they face, whatever that may be, via Matchroom, and because of that is why he can't make big fights. But meanwhile, on the other hand,
Hmm.
Tank gets the exact opposite of that criticism, saying that his business is so successful and his brand is so big, despite fighting even lesser notable people at 135, and that's the reason he's at where he's at, and that's the reason why Devin Haney is at where Devin Haney's at.
No,
Is it,
Well,
I didn't say
go
that.
ahead.
Put it to you like this though, brother. That the way you put that, it sounded real good and that was real intelligent. But I'm gonna definitely, definitely want to see Tank Davis, another guy that has. Look, he got Gary Russell. He got more makeable fights than Devin Haney does. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, and this is my opinion on Tank, at some point, Tank gonna have to say, "Listen, man. To me, legacy means more than anything else. The bigger the fight, the more money they gonna pay. So if he fight Gary Russell, you know what I'm saying? He could fight Chris Colbert. He got guys he can fight. They just ain't pulling the trigger on the fight. And I'm not protecting anybody. I don't care what color you is, what organization you fight with. Tank Davis absolutely needs to fight Gary Russell or Chris Colbert or whomever.
I'm gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
honest
Whomever.
with you.
because
Because
Gary
going off
Russell
what
He
Leonard,
got
Gary,
people to
because
fight.
going off
because
what
Gary
Leonard
Russell
be
already
saying,
turned down Devin Haney.
Not even that. Just
No,
going
no,
off
I'm
what Leonard
talking
be
about
saying.
Gary Russell and
None of
Tank
those
Davis.
fights make
He's gonna
sense.
turn down Tank Davis.
You said who?
I said Gary Russell wouldn't turn down a fight with Tank Davis. Al Heyman will get that fight made in a minute, and guess
Yeah,
what?
but
They'll fight
it doesn't
right
bring
here
no
in
money in.
DC.
No, no, it don't bring no money in. That's not an intriguing fight to the whole boxing community.
Yeah,
That fight is sell
that fight
out
was
in the
cool.
DMV.
That fight was cool when Tank was down there, but now that he's no longer down there, he's been all the way to 140, and
But
you know,
but he got the belt at 35, and I'm telling you, bro, there is no bigger name for him at them lower weight classes that PBC has than the longest reigning featherweight champion, Olympian, a guy that's what 36, 37, and 1, and somebody that we would all admit, even at 130 or 35, is the biggest fight for him.
It
I'm not
is.
nobody, and that includes Leo Santa Cruz.
I disagree because Miguel Burchell just went free agent right now. That dude has a huge Mexican following. He just
No,
moved
he
up to
re-signed with Top
135.
Rank.
No,
He
he free
re-signed with
agent.
Top
He
Rank.
free agent.
he's a free agent.
He free
Uh,
agent.
okay, okay.
I don't think that Burchell. I don't think that either one of them. Like Julius, if you're saying that that's the biggest fight for him to make at PBC, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I said that I recommended Tank fight Burchell. Next simply because of what Midwest said, which is because of the Mexican fan base thing. He's a banger. He's
right,
not afraid to let his hands go. He has a lot of
right.
strength to offer, and
Yeah.
also his last knockout was via a guy who was on PEDs. So Tank should, have a better quality showing against him, and if he can knock him out earlier, that's
Right.
also,
Tank will
that's
knock
also a
him
big
out
fight.
though.
Yeah,
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 fast.
that's also a big fight.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
big. But I like that Gary Russell fight more because I think that's more of a 50-50 nature. You know
You
what I'm
get more
saying?
respect from the
You
people.
absolutely. Whoever said that, you
I
are
disagree.
absolutely
A
right.
dude jumping up two weight classes will never be a 50-50 fight.
It don't matter because he got respect. Think about it. Canelo jumping up a weight classes. If somebody beat him, you think they gonna say, "Oh no, well, you beat a guy moving up a weight
Jumped
class"?
up
Nah, they gonna be
16.
like, "Hell no, you beat Canelo Alvarez, regardless."
Right, right. That's why Devin
That's
Haney
because
wanted to.
he's Canelo, though. Not because it was a tough challenge. You go, oh man, he beat motherfucking Canelo. It's not because it's a tough challenge and shit like that. Like, if we being honest, it's motherfucking just like with the Mikey Garcia situation, he jumped up two weight classes. Spence beat him. None of us go, oh my gosh, he beat motherfucking Mikey
Nigga, we
Garcia.
had Hall of
Nobody.
Famers saying that Mikey Garcia was gonna beat Errol Spence.
yeah, and plus
We
Terrence
gotta stop
Crawford.
listening with the fucking Hall of Fame, Sam. Okay, these motherfucking dudes is old as hell. Yeah, fucking punch drunk and shit like
Oh,
that.
not
We
AJ
gotta stop.
Punch Drunk.
We gotta
But
stop fucking believing everything they said. None of
but
us
Terrence
believe
Crawford
fucking Leonard when he said Mike Garcia is going to win. Leonard, shut the fuck up.
but Terrence Crawford coming up from 135 too. Is Spence gonna get any credit for that if he wins?
He didn't jump up from 135 to 147.
No, I understand that, but he's coming up from
Well,
135, then 140, then 147. Is Spence gonna get any credit
yeah.
if he wins?
Yes, because he went through the rankings. He did the body work.
Well, Mikey had beat Lipinets and Robert Easton at 140 right before he fought at 47 and fought Spence.
Nah, he beat Lippin there. I mean, he beat East at 35.
Okay, he
Yeah,
beat East at 35 and beat Lipinets at 40.
Yeah,
So
that's his only fight at
Lipinets a good
40.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean
still, that was a
that's
championship fight.
why I said what I said. I was like he's gone up from 135 to 140 to 147, the same as Crawford. That's why I'm
right.
For
asking.
me,
Like,
it's different because he went on from 135 to 140 to 135 to 147.
so because he didn't hang, so because he went back and didn't hang out for a little bit, it's a different set of circumstances.
It's just when you jump
Damn,
up that
Hakeem,
many
you
weight
got the whole
divisions,
family over there,
it's
huh?
never really works out for the motherfucker jumping up that many weight divisions. When have we ever seen a dude jump up two weight divisions a week?
Hey, Midwest, I'm going to tell you why I think that Gary Russell would have a better shot at beating Tank Davis than Mikey Garcia and Earl Spence. Number one, Tank Davis was a 130 pounder, you know what I'm saying, naturally. And so they only really four pounds apart. So now if he go up from 26 to 35, you talking 8-9 pounds. Okay. The other thing, to me, Gary Russell is a much higher level fighter than Mikey Garcia. I just think of Gary Russell as a higher level fighter.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Regardless if he's at 126 to 135 to 130, he's just a way better fighter than those
Yeah,
guys.
he's the way, and yeah, and look, historically, look at guys like Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Prince Nassim Hamed. All these guys fought at 26. So when somebody beat them at 30 or 35, like Manny Pacquiao did, I mean Manny Pacquiao moved up from 112. So you still get respect for beating him at 47, and he moved up from flyweight.
But then it's because he was a champion at 147.
Yeah, I got you, but I'm saying my thing is this: if you would rather Gary Russell move up and beat a lightweight champion first, and then fight Tank Davis, I got you. But I'm gonna tell you like this: I think if
I'm not saying
Tank,
it's like my preference. I'm just talking about thinking of like how what reaction he'd get. The dude
well,
fucking beat
I
Leo
think
Santa Cruz. Leo was a champion at 130. He only had one fight in 130, but he was still a champion. He didn't get no credit for that. So how much credit do you think he would get for Gary Russell jumping up to
he would get
135?
he would get a lot of credit, especially if he end the fight like he
I,
did
I, don't,
against
I,
Leo Santa
I don't
Cruz.
think
Yeah.
they give
I
credit
feel
for it.
like that's your opinion, Hakeem. I honestly believe that
I'm
he is going to get a lot of
y'all
credit
in
if he
y'all
beat Gary
opinion, y'all think
Russell.
he'd get credit for it?
I
I
think
I
he'll get major credit.
I
Hell
personally
yeah,
don't.
he'll get credit, dude.
I personally don't. I think from legitimate boxing fans and black boxing fans, absolutely. But for the greater public, no, they're not gonna give him no credit.
Well, okay. I think that's a
No,
fight that Tank could lose. I think
absolutely,
it's a
100%.
close fight.
But
No,
y'all do
100.
know what I think should happen? Gary Russell, dude, you don't get that many fights in. I think you could beat Haney though, bro. If you can move up to 135, grab Haney's belt, and then come to the tank fight, now we cooking.
Uh,
Why do you
that's a
turn it
more
down?
difficult fight for him at 35 because Haney is bigger and he could jab, but it's gonna be a good fight. I mean, I would never say that. Trust me, bro. I don't see Devin Haney blowing Gary Russell out. I think he might outpoint him. You know what I'm saying? But it would be a good fight. It would definitely be a good fight.
Batman is on record turning down that fight already because I,
Yeah.
I, I was I was looking forward to it, and then
Who
the
turned it
con
down?
Gary Russell Jr.
But hey, D Hive, again, now we're gonna go into the politics. Al Heyman wasn't gonna help Eddie Hearn out, and I'm not trying to give nobody no excuse of ducking, but nobody, and I'm gonna be honest, I gotta sound like checkmate for a second. I don't even feel bad about someone turning down a situation with Eddie Hearn. I think that Devin Haney needs to make a pact with these black fighters, and I feel like all of them should fight one another. But I
But
don't. I do not want Eddie Hearn involved in the fight
Devin
because
Haney is a free agent though. He's not officially signed to the zone. He
he,
could have gone to
he,
Showtime for any reason.
thing though. I remember doing that while they was talking about that though, and you're absolutely right. They're a free agent, but Bill continuously said we're gonna have the fight here on the zone. But and then he said, well, we could go to Fox. I would rather them come over because I think that it's more challenges for Devin. I'm just being honest. This is me talking as a fan, not me as talking no politics. I just think it's more challenges.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that. As a fan, I feel you. Whatever gets the fight done gets the fight done. If the fight over there
Right,
get the fight done, go there. The fight over here get the fight done, go there.
No,
right.
I'm
But
I'm
from
I'm
a
with
business
all that.
aspect, from a
I'm with
business
that man.
aspect,
Oh, I'm
Fox
sorry.
is
Go
not
ahead.
going to pay Devin Haney $3 million to fight Gary Russell.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because that's exactly what that's what fucking Ellerby said. But my thing is though is that whenever people talk about how uncomfortable they are with giving an individual money, okay, fine. But then we have to also analyze who's representing the opposition. People don't feel the same kind of trepidation giving MTK, Pro Bellum, Lou DiBella, and Aram money. So we talking about Hearn as if he's the fucking all-time devil. He been in this game for fewer years than all the rest of these motherfuckers. So if you're cool with giving Aram, DeBella, Pro Bellum, and MTK money, then fucking Hearn is evil now.
Hey,
Like,
Yeah,
we
I'm
talked
gonna be
about
honest with you.
Bob
I like
Arum
Eddie Hearn.
today.
I
Me and
like Eddie Hearn.
Art Man talked about Bob Arum earlier today about him snitching on Bob Lee and getting Bob Lee arrested by the
Man,
feds. Man was 70
exactly.
years old. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about that guy being evil and how I would rather nobody do business with Top Rank. So I've already established myself for throwing that out there. You just missed it. We talked about that today. You know what I'm saying? But but I mean, I feel you about MTK, all them. But all I'm saying is I, Julius, hold something dear and near when you start talking about Eddie Hearn and Bob Ant. You get what I'm saying? I just don't like those guys involved. And here's another thing. I want people to tell me this. Throughout, through boxing history, how many fighters have we heard about that Eddie and Barry Hearn has cheated and Bob Arum has cheated? And then you tell me about Al Heyman, because the list is going to be much smaller with PBC than with Matchroom. You know that what did they say? They ran they like slave contracts. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's just my opinion, bro.
No, I agree. I agree with you, and I definitely think that Haney would be better served by signing with the PBC. I think everybody would be better served by doing that. But the thing is,
I'm gonna be honest with you. With Haney, well, he like 22, and I hate to say this, but the
he's
damage is
23.
already done to his career. The damage is done. Him being at that young age and getting that much money, him going to a different network is never gonna work out for him because him and his dad gonna be looking for that same type of pay, and nobody's gonna pay him that. Bob Arum
That's
ain't gonna
why
pay
they
you
got
that.
pay per view too now.
Yeah, but he's not a pay-per-view star, and I could tell from his interviews, him and his dad know that. Him and his dad know that they not gonna get a draw on pay-per-view. That's why they take the guarantees.
well, it depends on their opposition. Like Devin Haney himself against a no name, yeah, you'd have a point. You're right. But Devin Haney with the right opposition, I think that situation turns around. Like, look at Tank. If Tank can make a pay per view star out of day laborers from absolutely nowhere, then I'm sure Devin Haney and Tank will do some numbers
But my
as
thing
long
is
as they're
this:
willing to
when,
cross the
when you
street.
look at Tank's opponents, them dudes don't get paid heavily. Fucking Cruz only made fucking 300K.
No, I know.
Mm-mm.
I know, but it is bad for Haney. Why the fuck would I leave from 3 billion to fight to go make 300K?
I know, but the thing is, though, is that him and his father have never explicitly laid out financial compensation demands on people like Tank. Like, I remember even when they were talking about fighting Tank, Haney was like, I'm not concerned about the financial upside. I know I'm not the A side. I don't need to pick anything. I just want to make the fights happen. And then that's when Ellerby and TNT started going off about how, well, Haney actually isn't shit from a financial perspective. And I'm just like, yeah, he knows that. He said that. In comparison to Tank, he ain't shit. That's why he was willing to do what it takes to get the fight done. So, with all due respect, we're saying all these things, but no one has even entered willing negotiations with Haney to even be able to say, oh, well, he demanding this, he demanding that.
I think you got a point, D Hive, and I think that it will come serious negotiations for Devin Haney. I think it's gonna be once he go up to one. I really don't see any of the lightweight guys really fighting him. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I just don't. And to be honest, that ain't the worst thing in the world because it's big challenges up at 140. It's real big challenges at 140, and it's bigger money at 140 and 47. It's more money at 40 and 47 than it is at 35, in
I,
my opinion.
I disagree about 140, but definitely 147. There's always the fattest money at
Hey,
147.
you got
I'm gonna
Adrian
disagree with
Broner,
147 too, though. I'm gonna have to do
but
because pretty soon all them dudes are gonna leave that division.
they're
Spence
gonna
only
be
got like a
there.
fight or two left there. Boots ain't gonna be there long. Crawford on the edge of retirement. I'm surprised if he have another fight, to be honest.
Crawford?
Crawford.
Who? Crawford?
Yeah, Crawford. Yeah, I feel like he can retire right now. And
Oh, he
He
nobody ain't
said
criticizing.
I think he's gonna fight for a few more years.
I don't see it. If he don't get the Spence fight, there's nothing else really out there for him. Joshua fight don't
that's
do
the same shit that I said. I said
yeah,
if you ain't fighting Spence, nigga, hang it up.
yeah.
Well, here's the
Yep.
thing. After Spence fights Ugas, if Spence wins, we'll see. Because that ain't gonna be. I mean, the fight gonna happen in what, March? So we're gonna see in about 3 months what he really feel. But I'm gonna tell you this though, bro. I feel that one guy that would be a very good marketing fight for Devin Haney at 140, and you could put a regular belt on it, or you could put an interim title on it, is a promotion between Devin Haney and Adrian Broner. Because even though Broner's not the
Oh
fighter he
shit.
was, the event that would be the payday that Haney want, and it would be
Mm-hmm.
where he could dominate and look
Mm-hmm.
spectacular in. You know what I'm saying? Like to
I
me,
totally agree.
and it's a good promotion between two Black American fighters. You know, you can put that fight gonna sell because you know what I'm saying. Adrian Broner talking junk, Bill Haney talking. I believe that's a good event, man. What's the boy preacher? I mean, I would love that, man. You could
And not,
put
not
that on
only
a
that, the type of fans that
few.
Adrian Bronner brings into a fight is the type of fans Haney need. That's the fan base you want
Yeah,
to tap
Haney don't
into
got.
if you're Haney right
You know,
now.
it's like this.
Well,
Haney, he black.
oh,
You know
go
what I'm
ahead. Go ahead.
saying? He listen to hip hop music and all that shit, but he just not. He not in the culture, and I feel like because maybe it's a blessing and a curse. You know,
Hmm.
being in where he's from and being kind of shelled up around that stuff. So you can't. He's not really involved in the streets and stuff like that. So nobody really
Right.
like. You know what I mean? I feel like people like Tank and AB is because they're from the streets.
Right.
That's what I was going to speak on. See, this is the thing, and this is why when I was saying a few shows ago that Devin Haney also gets a lot of hate from the within the black community, and it's for this reason. Are we saying that Devin Haney is not aligned with the culture or with the streets? Because with all due respect to me, black culture is not the damn streets. That's just our circumstances. Now I understand that from an urban perspective, Adrian Broner and Tank bring something a little bit different. But if we're gonna
Yeah.
like I think that's a negative connotation to simply hate Devin Haney because he's from slightly better circumstances than other people. And
No,
I
I definitely don't hate him. I think this though, D Hive. I think you got to look at his thing. What is it about Devin Haney? Because you know when to sell these fights to the pay per view, you got to go to something extra. Now his father is a definite street guy, but Devin was not raised like you say in the streets like that. Also, you got to understand he's a guy that's deep into Gucci and all these people that are definitely 100% against the black race. He aligned himself with Eddie Hearn, and I think that hurts him more with the culture as far as fighting because
And then
Eddie
that goofy shit his
trying
pops
to
just said to Lynn Ellaby was like, shit's
To be
crazy,
honest,
man.
I don't even think it's the Eddie Hearn thing because I remember he signed with Eddie Hearn. Everybody was cool with it. Oh yeah, go get that money, bro. He giving out
Cause
money.
yeah,
Go
we
yeah,
get
was
it.
cool with him getting
no,
money for
I
sure.
think
nobody
what
cares.
Yeah,
really is hurting him is two things. You don't have to be from the streets to be aligned with the culture. If he could just take a page from like Deontay Wilder, you ain't got to be from the streets. Just speak on black problems, speak on injustice, speak on this and that. That'll get you aligned with your culture. And the other thing is,
true.
stop
true,
letting motherfucking Mauricio Suleiman disrespect you, bro.
Yeah, we
absolutely,
don't like that
Stop letting
shit.
that
hundred
motherfucker
percent,
disrespect you.
hundred
Everybody lost a lot of respect for him when they let him out. He not a real champion. This motherfucker's the gay pride
percent.
champion.
Throw his belt in the trash.
Right. I feel like those are the two things holding Haney back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He could
Well,
file a lawsuit, but he
the
could do the
lawsuit.
He
right
ain't, he
thing.
ain't even gotta do that, bro. Just go ahead and take a hit to your fucking bank account and slap the fuck out of him on camera, bro.
Yeah,
Motherfuckers gonna tune into your next fight, bro. Just slap that
the
motherfucker.
lawsuit angle doesn't that might not be as fruitful as everyone thinks because
Throw it in the trash.
when you sign on with these organizations, I'm pretty sure they have you sign a bunch of healthy indemnification clauses for shit like this. So there's always that nonsense.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you this though, D Hive. Riddick Bowe is known for getting hit in the balls, and he also known for throwing the belt into the trash can. The same WBC title, man. This is nothing new. Jose Suleiman, rest in peace. Jose Suleiman did the same type of things to black fighters, and now Mauricio is following suit. And the worst thing about all this is these guys aren't even Mexican. So I don't even understand the Spanish angle with them. They from Lebanon, but even besides that, I'm just saying, man, I think the smart thing to do is to throw that WBC title in the trash can, move up or stay at 35 and fight for another organization. Like,
I think that when Josh Taylor finally vacates, I absolutely agree. I think yep, he should go ahead, throw that bitch in the trash, sign up with the IBF, and then go that route.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. Like Josh Taylor could be vacating in months because I don't see how he gonna make 4 mandatories. Because you know what I'm saying? Because nobody's gonna wait for him to do 2 or 3 mandatories. Like I could see the WBA or one of them stripping him. You know what I mean? And
Well,
I
to be
believe it.
honest, they don't do that no more. Remember when they had that meeting when all the organizations met up and had that meeting? That was for when unified champions get all the belts or get the multiple belts. But what do they do about the mandatory? Because they don't want to give multiple mandatories a year. So what
Yep.
happens is all the
Hmm.
organizations come together and they decide on mandatories. So he just have
But
one mandatory for the year.
but I think that Josh would give up the WBA because Gary A. Russell or Matthias is like gonna be the mandatory or something like that. I don't see him fighting one of those guys. I just don't.
Wait, you talking about Josh Taylor?
Yeah, I don't see Josh Taylor fighting one of those guys if they become the mandatory.
Nah, Matias is close to the IBF, and Alberto Puello would be next in line for the
And that's a
WBA.
PBC fighter.
Yeah,
To
So
be honest,
yeah.
he wouldn't have to vacate because I don't see them dudes fighting him just because they PBC. I'm not gonna let them go to top
Oh,
rank.
he'll let Alberto Palulo or however he'll let him fight him right now.
no, he'll let
And
Matias fight him before he lets Puello fight him.
he'll let both of them guys fight him.
They not gonna let Russell near Josh Taylor.
Hey, like I
Well,
said,
no, that's because Top Rank and MTK wouldn't take the Antoine fight. Hell
exactly.
no.
Gary A. Russell would take that
It wouldn't
fight,
be able
bro.
to take. It wouldn't be. He wouldn't be allowed to take it. They're not
Gar-
gonna let that prospect go in there and fight Josh Taylor.
Gary Antoine Russell will whoop Josh Taylor, bro.
Hey, and let me tell you
I
this, bro.
disagree.
Al
Okay.
Al Heyman, Al Heyman don't care about all these fighters the way people think he do. Al Heyman, a lot of these fighters be hiding behind. Well, you got to ask Al. I mean, let's be honest. Al Heyman would allow any of those fighters we talked about to step in the ring with Josh Taylor. He would invite it because he would love to have an undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly, and not to mention other organizations have no problem. Like the thing is, Al like people talk about Top Rank's matchmakers and shit. Y'all don't think Al Heyman knows the likelihood of a fighter winning? Other
right.
people only want to cross promote with PBC when they think their fighter has a pretty solid chance of winning.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't think Al Heyman has done that math either? He knows that his fighter is more than likely not the favorite, but he still makes the fights happen. Because
Yep.
if what y'all were saying was true about him being a protector, he wouldn't have let Wilder fuck around and fight Fury.
No, he
I
ain't.
mean,
No,
I think it was a. So you gotta remember, Fear was coming off of inactivity.
He
He ain't
had two
fought at a
fights
high
before his first
level.
Wilder fight.
Yeah, but it wasn't nothing and shit like that. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't no good fights to put him on the map. It was a nice fight for him. He was supposed Deontay was supposed to win that fight.
They were meant to get him back in camp, but this is another thing I was saying on a show previous. There are certain fighters in boxing that there are no sparring and tune-ups for. Like you can't accurately and definitively spar and tune up for a Terrence Crawford, for an Errol Spence,
Fedora.
for a Wilder. Because I mean, who else got that? Like you can't. There's no sparring or tune-ups in the world that can prepare you for a fucking tank. You just
Yeah.
got to get in there and see what you do. So he was just doing that to shake off the inactivity, have a few camps in him, and then go into the Wilder fight. But there's no one in boxing he could have sparred or fought previous to accurately prepare him for a Wilder.
Well,
And the
I'm gonna
same
say,
and the same with
yeah,
Wilder for a Fury.
I'm gonna say this though with Terrence Crawford. As much as I love Terrence Crawford, I've seen his talent, not talent level, but I have seen his style before. He fights a lot like a guy named Junior Witter, except Terrence was better. But they fight a lot alike, so I think you can mimic um, Bud Crawford's style. You can't mimic that mentality with them skills. That's
And
the thing, though.
and
You know what I'm saying?
you also can't mimic the power, you can't mimic the speed, and you
Yeah,
can't mimic the reaction time. And without those three things, your sparring. I don't want to say that it's worthless, but
yeah.
it's not the
A
same.
prime Kell Brook was kind of similar to Bud in a way. But I'm gonna tell you this though, bro, and that is I'm anxious to see Devin Haney go up to 140 and fight these guys. I'm just gonna put it out there, man, because D Hive, I feel you on everything you're saying, but I see his next fight possibly being against somebody from Golden Boy or some European fighter, And I just want to see the guy because I'm in it for good fights, man. I want to see the guy go up to 140. I
But
mean,
unfortunately, he probably is going to fuck around and fight Maxie Hughes next. To be quite honest, because he's not getting Cambosis, he's not getting Tank, he's not getting Ryan Garcia, he's not getting Lomachenko, he's not getting Tiafimo, and yeah. So his next fight is probably going to be fucking Maxie Hughes or some goddamn body.
man, I don't want to see him fight Maxi Pads.
I don't either. I don't either. But the niggas got to make bread. But yeah, I hope Josh Taylor can hurry up and come off them belts because EJ got his fight. Terrence Crawford gonna be sitting around waiting on something to do, probably trying to wait on fucking Thurman. So hopefully Josh Taylor, so Josh Taylor can hurry up, come off the belts, trigger that WBO, move his punk ass up and fucking lose, and then Haney could go the IBF route or whatever and do what it do.
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, man, I don't want to see that Maxi Hughes fight. I mean, that is just something we don't want to see. And then my thing, again, when we see that fight, I mean, I wish that I could ask Bill Haney, what's the hold up on getting to another, company and making these big fights, man? Because at some point, and this even like this with,
They don't want him. They don't
Davis,
want him.
I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, it's like this with Tank Davis. Like people are asking, okay, we want to see you in with a top 10 guy. We want to see you with this guy. And trust me, I think Tank Davis will fight those guys. But it's just a matter of people want to see it. But as far as with Devin Haney, it's just, and this is just me. It's frustrating to me, and the money is great for him. But sometimes the money that guys get and disconnect with the fans on certain situations, they kind of clash. Like people said they didn't want to see Tank fight Cruz or Rolly Romero. Sometimes, the money might be good, but the opponent, what I'm saying, it's a clash between the fans and the money.
Also, the thing about it is that from a business perspective, I agree with what you're saying, but we have to also rationalize how that would be a step back. So I understand that basically, if Haney were free of Matchroom, he would have to go into his next big fight, if he even got a big fight. That's a big ass if, taking a giant pay cut. I get that, and I agree. But let's say he takes that pay cut. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that in his next big fight, if it is a big fight, that's a big ass if again, that he's going to see the same appreciation and value as far as his net worth. Because people, especially when it comes to the bigger fighters like Tank, people that have bigger names, Cambosis at the time, Lomachenko, whatever, they're still going to point. They're still going to be like, oh, well, you didn't actually generate those numbers. It was whoever you fought, and they're not going to see the financial upside that they've already been seeing. Now, I understand from a selfish perspective, I don't care about their money, and I just want to see the fights. But also,
Right.
you have to understand that the reason why they might be trepidatious to do all that is because it represents a big ass step back in business. Because I think personally that if they fought, let's say they fought Tank, Lomachenko, and Cambosis in that order, they would not only take a massive pay cut, but they wouldn't even be able to get back to where they were in those three fights. They would still be at the short end of the stick. So that's another reason why they probably don't want to. They don't want to go and do all that.
And also, too, bro, this is something I've been thinking about. Like, well, let's look at the DAZN model. I mean, I don't know if reports are true, but the way that reports have been coming out, man, is that DAZN has lost a massive amount of money, and that they really are not. The boxing game is what they got in, but now it's like they just trying to pretty much, you know, curb all their sports into like soccer and stuff like that, man. So I
That's
mean,
that's an open. That's not even an open secret. That's facts.
that's why I'm saying like
Canelo drained them.
these days, right? That's why.
That's not a fact. That was always they plan. If you go read the
So
old reports,
so
they
so
plan was never just boxing. They always planned on getting to snookers and shit. They was even trying to get the NBA.
the paydays aren't gonna be there like that, is what I'm saying. Like it's gonna stop at some point, just like with some of the PBC guys aren't getting paid what they were once getting paid. That's why a lot of these fights are on pay-per-view. So I mean,
Well, I hope the ship sinks so he can jump off.
yeah,
I hope if that's the case, then I mean, because I know that they took massive L's on Canelo and Triple G, bringing them to the platforms. I mean,
right.
they got a lot of viewership, but the revenue upside wasn't even worth the fucking events that they put on.
No,
I know that for a fact. But I hope, if that's the case, then I hope the ship sinks. I hope their American operation collapses and forces Bill and Devin to move a slightly different direction. But like I said, the pay cut is because like when Mayweather fought fucking De La Hoya, he knew that the pay cut was gonna generate financial upside. The pay cut
He
for the
didn't take a pay cut in the De La Hoya. He took less money than De La Hoya, but that was his career high payday.
well, yeah, you know what I mean, like coming in at the
Yeah,
lower
I
end.
got you. I got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he was the
yeah,
short end of the stick. Gotcha.
right.
Well, he,
And
he
I
did
think
kind of take a pay cut because he was supposed to get a 40 or 45 split, but he ended up taking what, a 20 or 30 split just to get the fight.
yeah, like a
No, I
70
was talking
30,
about
70 30
money
split,
wise.
something like that.
That was his biggest payday up until that point, the De La Hoya fight.
Right, and yeah, so maybe that was a poor comparison, but what I'm trying to say is that not only will they be taking a financial step backwards if they do that, but I think it's going to be consistent because a lot of the fighters, whether they win or lose, are going to use the same arguments that you all pointed out, which was he doesn't sell, people don't like him that much, he's not really connected to his culture, he doesn't generate a lot of knockouts, which doesn't generate pay-per-views, etc., etc. So shit, I mean, honestly, Devin Haney might be the first African American to get the fucking Cuban treatment. Niggas just might start not fucking with him at all. Like they
I
might
hope
just
not.
they might just put him in a closet and then close up shop and move on. Like,
Yeah. Hopefully they won't give it. We ain't gonna. I know I'm not gonna give him that kind of treatment.
well, I mean, it's not up to us.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's up to
I agree.
boxing and the fans. Like I personally I like Devin Haney. He's definitely
Yeah.
like when people ask me about 135, I think he has the highest ceiling in the division, and I think he'd be able to beat Tank. And I know the only three people on the planet that believe that are myself, Destiny, and BFTB. But that's just what it is.
Well, more people believe it than y'all, because I mean, I've heard people say that he'll outbox him. You know what I'm saying? But I know this though, bro. Regardless of the situation, as a fan, and that's why I'm not like a lot of those guys that's on the Twitter that act like they getting a paycheck. Considering I'm not getting a paycheck out of this, I just want to see great events. Like people want to see Tank Davis in a super fight. I do too. But I also want to see Devin Haney. And I just think, in my opinion, we're not gonna get it while he is a part or indirectly or directly with Matchroom. I don't think they got anything. I don't think Golden Boy. I mean, if he fought Ryan Garcia, that would be kind of a good fight. But who would think that Ryan Garcia got a chance of winning though?
I don't think that promotions are the issue. Like people say that with Tank. People say that the only reason why they hate Tank is because of Mayweather. No, Tank could be signed to fucking Bob Arum, y'all would still hate Tank, and y'all know
Oh yeah.
exactly why. And with Haney again, I think that these professional boxers, it's the same kind of situation as why Boots is going to struggle getting fights, why Andre going to struggle getting fights. A lot of people lean on the business, and the business is a part of it. But the truth of the matter is that these people haven't shown enough vulnerability to where the opposing side is going to come in with enough knowledge on how to win. There's no clear path to victory, and the payday isn't Canelo or Mayweather sized, so they figure, what's the point?
I think at 47, I think guys will fight Boots Ennis. I love Boots, and I think he a super talent. And we are all want to see Bud Crawford fight him. Bud Crawford might not fight him because of Bud is a great fighter, but Bud will get touched in that fight. But I think that Earl Spence definitely would fight Boots Ennis. I don't think
I
he'll
think
have no
not.
problem fighting him.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think.
so. Yeah, y'all got to remember, Boots is not a PBC fighter.
Yeah, he with Cameron Duncan, but Cameron Duncan
Yeah,
had said that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to think the only way for Boots to get, you know what I'm saying, to break through on Showtime, I believe he's going to sign with Louis DeCubis or somebody. Like, trust me, I think that thing is in the works. I think it's in the works, man. I really, truly think it's in the works. And I also think that Boots Ennis would work with Al Heyman. Because remember, he can work with Al Heyman, even promoted by Cameron Duncan. There's nothing that could stop that from happening. He's already
I
on the
think I
show.
think what's stopping him at 147 is that he has that exclusive deal with Showtime. He has an exclusivity deal with Showtime. So I think that's why you don't see him getting a lot of them fights. Because a lot of them dudes fight on Fox.
Actually,
It's the
he fought a
PBC.
couple PBC fighters, though.
You
I
said
don't
what?
even, and I think, and I mean, as much as that makes sense, but I don't think that the business optics, because considering like Jerron Ennis is very high, but most of his clout comes like from Twitter and people's opinions. So as far as the financials, I don't think the financials are that steep to where it would justify him not getting fights. I think it's simply that fighters, again, there's not enough upside, and he doesn't show enough vulnerability, and the probability of one of their fighters winning is not high enough for them to go ahead and make those fights happen. I just think that it's more the fighter and not fucking and not the business.
Well, what you saying is it's not a blueprint on how to win against them. But see, that's where I say that the managers need to step out of the way. As much as I love Boots Ennis, he's one big left hook away from having a loss too, because he's such a great fighter. Sometimes he leave himself wide open. Like to me, man, and I hear what you're saying, and I agree that it's true. But I don't think that any fighter in this era or even the last era, at certain weight classes, to me, you know, benefited. Hey, we gotta stay away from that guy. I'm just being honest, man. Like I just don't see it. As great as Boots is, I don't see why you would just automatically say, "Hey, man, I don't see that blueprint to beating him." I mean, I think I've seen a blueprint on beating a lot of undefeated fighters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure boxing people that know more than me have seen it. I don't get it. I don't see why Terrence Crawford wouldn't take that fight today. Because here's the thing, if Bud keeps waiting, he's not going to be able to beat anybody because skill's going to erode at some point. So I think he should take it now.
And that's an argument that people can make, but I mean you can take individual moments of vulnerability, but the thing is not everybody, not every fighter, not every fighter's camp is going to be able to capitalize and create those same opportunities because people fight different. And it gets into a lot of subjectivity like reaction times, individual speed, stuff like that. But I do think that again, I'm not saying that the business is irrelevant. That's a huge part of it. But like I said, I think that with these people, with Haney, with Ennis, I think that there's not enough. Like they would need massive financial upside in order to get in there and put their fighters at significant risk of a loss. Because despite what you're saying, I do think that if Terrence Crawford or Spence get in there before they fight each other, there is a sizable risk of either one of them taking a loss.
Absolutely.
I'm
I
not saying
agree.
that I'm not saying that these are 50-50 or whatever, but I'm saying that it's enough to where they got to think about some shit carefully.
Yeah. Then that means they need to fight each other, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like Midwest said, I couldn't agree more. If Terrence Crawford is not fighting Errol Spence, retire, nigga. I'm straight.
Yeah.
I'm good
Yeah,
on
I
all.
got you.
I'm good on all that. Retire.
Hey, man. I mean, you're right.
Retire. Shit. It's like that,
On God.
D-Hop?
I
I want.
told y'all I'm good.
I want.
If you're not gonna fight Errol Spence, fuck it. I'm straight.
Hey, look, man. I threw this out there before. I would love to see Bud Crawford move up and fight Charlo if he ain't gonna get that fight with Earl Spence.
It's gonna be
Like,
the same situation. It's
And
gonna
he'll
be the
whoop,
same situation as
but he'll
147.
whoop Charlo ass. That's why I don't want like that. It doesn't interest me because it's not 50-50. He gonna outbox Charlo.
yeah.
He gonna whoop Charlo ass, bro.
Hey, look. Hey, but D Hive. I just come from a different, method of boxing. I've seen, like, for example, Felix Trinidad, right? I seen him waiting for the De La Hoya fight, move up to 54. I seen Pernell Whitaker go up and fight a dangerous guy at 54 and win a title, come back to 47. You can't just wait, man, for these guys if you saying they're not gonna fight you. Like that's not an excuse on not fighting. Is oh well they ain't gonna fight me. Like really, just go up. Like okay, trust me, bro. People will get excited if Bud Crawford moved up and beat Charlo. And he can
Yeah.
come back down and fight Spence still.
Will
I
Charlo
don't,
fight him though? That's the question we not asking.
Absolutely,
Would
Charlo would fight him because of his ego. Charlo is
he
not going to
wouldn't?
let a small guy come up and say, I'm going to knock you out.
no, he
He
would
would.
fight him,
I
but
don't think he won't. He had moved
he
160.
he would, but he would get his ass whooped. But But my thing is also is that I disagree with you saying that they could just simply move back down because at Crawford's age, no, I don't think he can go to 140, 154 and then just come down smooth to 147 and everything be straight. I don't think that he
All
would
he
be.
got to do is weigh in at 150, 151. See, that's the thing, man. Look, haven't we seen Manny Pacquiao win world titles weighing 4 and 5 and 6 pounds under the actual weigh-in weight?
Well, there's some controversy behind all that. With some him
But I'm
being
just
averse
saying,
to Olympic drug testing.
hey, look, we saw
Yeah,
Mayweather get on the scale one time with pants on. So he was way underweight. All I'm saying is, if you got better skills than a guy and you're powerful enough, you can actually move up, man. I mean, look. I don't like Canelo. Don't like the way he doing things, but man, like some of these bigger champions, man, you could pick on these guys. You could cherry pick some of these guys. I'm just being honest. You could cherry pick these guys and come back
What
to
Floyd say? Macabu used to get his ass kicked all the time at my gym.
and look and Canelo will stop Macaboo. And he'll go right up to 190, 195, stop Macaboo and come back down to light heavy. That's what's gonna happen.
I say, it's a problem when somebody can go from super middleweight to cruiserweight and be the favorite
By knockout.
by knockout.
well,
27 pounds. Right.
let Terrence Crawford get a 2 drug test failure minimum, and then we can go ahead and make all that shit happen.
All he got to do, look, all Bud got to do is go up 5, 6 pounds. He don't have to go up 25 pounds. He can go up 4 pounds. He can weigh in at 151 and still beat the crap out of Charlo.
Yeah, because Lil Charlo, and it's funny because Lil Charlo actually said like a week or so ago that he was talking about having Bud go all the way up and offering him 50-50 to get him off the spin stuff for that undisputed after his Castano 2 fight. So
There we go.
yeah, so I don't know. Bud might actually fuck around and take that because I think Jamel Charlo will take it. I mean, I think he'll lose, but I think he'll take it.
Another big fight. 2 Black American fighters fighting in an undisputed fight. Come on, man. What else to ask for?
Everybody gonna say, see, like after if Bud go up there and after he beat Charlo, everybody gonna be like, see, this is why Spence was ducking because he would have got knocked out.
Oh man, hey, then they still a fight. You get what I'm saying? They still gonna fight. I don't even. Hey, look, man, these coons out here talking about the Charlo. I mean, not Charlo, about the Spence and Bud. I've told Art, man, for real, man. A lot of these guys are coons, man, and they're paid. They're paid adversaries. They just get up on the internet and call names and coon. You know what I'm saying? They getting a
You
coin.
just don't know their heart, Julius.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy
What you
how
say,
they'll
Art, man?
give.
I said, you just don't know their heart. Like what Bud said about Bob.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
absolutely
He got a
crazy.
good heart. That's
I think
right.
it's absolutely crazy that they will give Bud Crawford credit for hanging out in the WBO and faithfully defending his belt, but then not give Big Charlo that same credit. Like Bud is avoided, but Big Charlo is he just ain't doing that in his career. Ain't that some shit?
That's the white man approach.
That's just fucking hilarious to me. Like
Only difference is one is
but
promoted by a white guy.
different. They got different situations. No champion is trying to fight Bud. It's a champion trying to fight Charlo.
Who? The only one I
Wait,
know
so-
is Boo Boo.
So Errol Spence is not actively trying to fight Bud Crawford.
No, if they was actually trying to fight him, the fault.
Who gets me trying to fight him?
You said what? No, who
Who
gets
gets?
fight
I'm just
Crawford?
who gets, for example, who gets beat? Who gets beat up Bud in the amateur? You don't think he would fight him?
If he would be fighting.
I'm just
Wait,
saying.
Hold on. I have one question. So basically, okay, Midwest. Here's one thing I need to understand though. But Crawford said,
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to call back, man. My phone about to die.
oh, okay, for sure. But
Alright, bro.
Crawford said that Bob Arum was one of, if not the primary reason why he couldn't get big fights made while he was there. So my question is Terrence Crawford a liar?
No, you got to understand what he mean by that.
Help us out.
You got to understand what he mean by that. You thinking he mean it as Bob wasn't trying to get those fights. Bob tried to get all those fights. Before this year, he tried to get Sean Porter in the ring with fucking Crawford. He tried to get Sean Porter in the ring with Crawford when he was a champion. Crawford just want. I mean, Porter just want the fight Spence. He tried to get the Danny Garcia fight. Danny Garcia didn't want the fight. He tried to get the Keith Thurman fight. Keith Thurman on camera said, "Yeah, I turned it down." He said, "I ducked him if he want to." So you can't say, "Oh, it's Bob's fault." These dudes deliberately is on camera saying they did not want to fight him.
I didn't say it was Bob's fault. I'm saying that Terrence Crawford said it was Bob's fault. So
I
basically,
could, but you can't just go off of that. You gotta go off what these fighters is saying too. Keith
so
Thurman on camera
Crawford,
said, "I ducked him."
so Crawford's word is unreliable.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you said I can't go based off what Terrence Crawford is saying.
I said only based off what he said.
Okay, okay, because at first it's well the reason why I'm leaving Top Rank is because Bob can't seem to make any big fights happen, and then when I go other places, all of a sudden it's like well everyone's ducking. Clearly nobody wanted Terrence Crawford, and then you talk about the sides of the street situation with people like Haney and promotional issues. So I'm like it's weird how whenever it comes to Terrence Crawford, the same stuff just doesn't apply. Like everything is different. Like Bud is his own individual case in every situation in boxing where big fights can't be made. None of it applies to Bud. Everyone just straight up ducking.
Well, you gotta say big fights can't be made for him, and it's not his fault. The dude, you can't make somebody fight you who don't want to fight you. Same thing with.
Are you implying that people are scared of Bud that are champions?
I don't know if they're scared of him. I'm just saying they didn't want to fight him. That's either if they was advised not to fight him, or they just scared of him, or didn't make money sense, or such and such. They
And it's
didn't want to
funny.
fight him.
And it's funny because earlier I tried to make the same argument for fucking Haney and Ennis, and the shit didn't work.
And it's all your and this is being avoided. And I don't think it's it might be a mix of maybe they scared of him, but it's also all these dudes he want to fight. These dudes are used to a certain payday. These dudes not finna fight him for no $1 million and shit like that. And nobody's gonna pay them $3-4 million to fight Ennis. So it doesn't make sense to fight Ennis.
Well, for Thurman punk ass, that argument makes sense, and for Spence, for Crawford, for Ugas, for those people. But everybody else is sitting on absolutely nothing. So I can't say that for the rest of them.
Yeah, but true, but who else do you want to see in this fight besides them?
I'd love to see Avanesian, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Connor Ben,
You know
uh,
Americans don't put prospects against each other.
some Abel Ramos, some Stanionis, some Butayev, fucking
We already know
Master.
he can beat those dudes and stuff like that. We already know that. And
Well, the top
Stanionis and
four,
Butayev, they lined up for a title shot.
the
Them dudes
top
are
four
lined up for a
guys are
title shot. They're not gonna fight
occupied.
him.
The top four guys are occupied. So I'm just trying to see like reasonably what we could probably get.
Stanionis occupied. Them dudes lined up for a title shot. They not gonna fight him. Avanesian, he's over there with Frank Warren. Frank Warren don't never let us fight nobody.
Which dude? Oh, that motherfucker. Yeah, he'll whoop his ass.
He was a 154 fighter.
Hmm. Yeah, he can break his ass off too. But like you said, I think that the situation is almost just the reverse. I think that the people like Boots, Haney, etc. Are actively no one sees the financial upside. Whereas Terrence Crawford, there should be significant financial upside for those people. But I think it's just it's a combination of Bob Arum and all of that nonsense. Because like we established, Top Rank only wants to cross promote when they believe that their fighter has a significant chance of
I would have to disagree about the one part you said. I think it is a financial upside, but the thing is this: we all know Bob Arum is cheap. We gotta stop using that as an excuse. The one thing about him being cheap is he's been consistently cheap for over 10 years. So nothing is going to change about that. Motherfucking cheap, the motherfucking cheap. All right, when it comes to these fights, these dudes want an arm and a leg to get in the ring with fucking Crawford that they don't ask to get in the ring for anybody else. Keith Thurman asked for $10 million up front to fight Crawford. If you don't think that is a duck, then I don't know. Fucking Danny Garcia turned down $5 million, which is what he did not even make in a fucking Earl Spence fight to fight Crawford. You don't think that's seductive? I don't know. Fucking Manny Pacquiao asked Bob Arum for $40 million up front to you in the ring with fucking Crawford. Like it's not that Bob is cheap. These dudes are making unrealistic demands. And the reason I say that him and Charlo got a different situation is because Charlo was the one turning down those fights. He was offered $7 million to fight Boo Andre. I do not see what reason you turn a fight like that down. He was offered a Canelo Alvarez fight. Why would you turn that down?
No,
Like, what is
Oscar
going on
Oscar De
over
La
there?
Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya came out and said Charlo didn't turn down that fight.
No, he didn't. He said the 154 Charlo didn't turn it down.
No, I'm talking about Charlo I said Charlo Senior. Bigger Charlo. He was saying, yeah, bigger Charlo. He was. I remember he said it was a boxing thing article where he said that Jamal Charlo didn't directly turn the offer down, but there were other reasons why the deal wasn't able to be finalized between the two.
Well, yeah, we all know what that is. We all know when the fight is turned down, it's not the fighters. My thing is, if you know that your team and who you're signed to turns fight downs for you, why are you over there? My thing is like, this is my question for y'all. If y'all said Bud needed to cross the street, leave Top Rank to get those fights he wanted, why don't y'all think Charlo should leave PBC to go to Matchroom and get those fights he wants?
Well, there's only one fight for Charlo at Matchroom, but the thing is that PBC has, when it comes to actually making pay-per-views and when it comes to making big stuff happen, PBC has more resources on its side to make the fight
Not for
bigger.
him.
For Andre or Charlo?
For Charlo, not for him.
What is Matchroom going to do for Charlo?
Pay him up front money.
So you think overall, between the guaranteed price you would get from PBC plus the potential pay-per-view upside for a unification title bout, you
Yes.
think Matchroom's
Yeah.
guaranteed money would be more?
Yeah, you think him and Andre makes more than $7 million on pay per
If
view?
you
No, it
include,
doesn't. Look, my thing is that we ain't even gotta like think about this. Like we can go off the facts. We've seen Charlo on pay per view before. We've seen what his numbers do.
what is Andre's revenue for DAZN done?
You know he's not a draw either. So you think telling me that two people who are not draws are going to make more money than $7 million on pay per view?
The thing is about
Not
that
at
is that
all.
when it comes to marketing, all we have to operate on is projection. We don't know what it's actually going to sell, so I think it's a better opportunity. I think it's a better opportunity if they both come in with, say, let's say Charlo is a guaranteed 5, and then Andrade is a guaranteed like 3 or 4, and then they do the pay-per-view revenue split. I think there's a better chance that they're
Five
going
what? 5 million or 500,000?
to $5 million.
So you're going to guarantee. So well, this is my thing. Well, you said 5 and 3. What is that? That's $8 million right there up front, and you got to put another 2 million in for promotion. That's $10 million. You're going to lose money on those dudes.
We don't know that considering the pay-per-view projection,
You
because
do know that. You do know that.
even people that don't like either of them want to see them both fight.
I'll tell you right now, they won't pay for it.
I know that you don't plan on paying for it because a lot of people already hate the PBC, so that doesn't really matter.
That ain't that. A lot of
but
people
I
just gonna
remember
pay per view.
but I remember you also were trying to argue that Terrence Crawford brings ESPN to the table with other fighters, and he's not a fucking draw.
You gotta understand what I meant by that. You
You were
gotta
talking about
understand
how he
this
has an
year.
entire network of distribution, and Terrence Crawford isn't a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
draw
yeah.
over there.
But I was saying because of this. This year, ESPN took their pay per view to streaming service. All right, it's different than PPC. I mean, PBC pay per view. PBC pay per view. When after you do the pay per view, you have to pay the satellite 20%. You have to pay the network 30%. That's 50% of the fucking pay per view money already gone. That's what a lot of people don't understand. When they get the money from the pay per views, 50% of it goes to the satellite distribution and the network. Over on ESPN with the streaming service, they have to pay none of that. 100% of that money goes to the fighters. So that's what I meant when I
100%
said
of that money, 100% of that money goes to Top Rank, and then the fighters get whatever they're supposed to get.
nah, it goes to
Yeah,
no, they don't.
otherwise,
They make way more.
otherwise people will be ranting and raving.
It doesn't go to the top rank. It goes to the fighters. That shit goes to the fighters, and then the top rank gets paid off their fighter.
By that rationale, so let's look over the Amir Khan versus Crawford deal. Amir Khan got a guaranteed deal of what, 7 or 5? Right, so 7, right?
No, no, he didn't. No, he got guaranteed a 3,
Okay, so he got guaranteed a 3. What did he end up walking away with total?
7.
Okay, so he walked away with total 7. So that's 7 to Crawford's what total walk away?
All right, so they get 45. Crawford always gets guaranteed a 4. Nah, I probably like 10, off that. I forget that fight was even pay per view. To be honest,
I mean, that's one of Crawford's only pay per view, so everyone kind of knows
yeah, I
that.
forget
So,
that fight was even pay per
so
view.
we got 7. Let's say 7. Let's say Crawford walked away with fucking 4 total. So that's $11 million. You said $2 million for promotion, so that's $13 million total. How much? How much did they make? $13 million off the pay per view?
Not at all.
Yeah, so it's like what are we doing here? They rolled the dice.
Not at all. They didn't make no money off. That's why Bob Irvin says I lose money on Crawford,
Yeah,
and I
that's
believe him. That's why when people are like, oh, I don't believe he's just not. I believe him. Motherfucker don't say he losing money. They ain't losing money.
Yeah,
He's losing money.
they rolled the dice on the pay per view because they thought it would amount to something using Terrence Crawford and some guy who they knew probably most likely shouldn't have been in the ring with Terrence Crawford, and it didn't work. And I'm
But
saying
you want to
that
know why they use Amir Khan? They tried to use him to get Sky Sports to get into it so they can get that UK pay per view too. But nobody bought the rights to it, and they
right,
wouldn't
and,
let the zone buy the rights to it. Well, but Eddie Hearn didn't want to buy the rights to it. That's why after the fight, you heard Bob Arum going off on Eddie Hearn. Come on,
right.
fuck. He was mad because Eddie ain't bought the UK rights to it and put it on the Sky Sports his Sky Sports line.
Right, and all I'm saying is that PBC is in a financial position to make a similar risk move with Charlo versus Andrade, and for it to actually generate some decent returns, especially because they're not offering career high, they're not offering purses like this. I think there's significant financial upside on that fight if it's promoted right.
Yeah, but many of them dudes come back with $7 million now.
From PBC.
Yeah, they fight on pay per view. Neither of them dudes come back for $7 million. You gotta understand, Tate Davis not even coming back for $7 million after his pay per views. So you think these two finna come back with 7 million? No, the dudes come back with like 3.
I'm saying, we're basing that projection off of the competition that they've been fighting, which everyone agrees that it needs to be upped. This represents an upside in competition, which is also why people keep saying that Devin Haney's not a draw. But the same people that keep saying that also say that he needs to increase his competition to increase his popularity, show more of his skill set, and also be higher up on the drawing list and be a revenue generating fighter. These are all facts, but they all have
think
to
that
have.
as in. You gotta remember in Charlo's pay per view, he fucking fought Dervinchenko, and his brother was on the same pay per view, and he fought fucking was it Rosario? That's a up in competition. That shit only sold 100K.
Derevyanchenko and Rosario, they are up in competition because of their status, but especially when it comes to Derevyanchenko, he's a guy. I mean, I give him credit because he's hard. He's a hard fighter. He did very well against Triple G, and I thought he won that fight. But he's a guy that has no championship credentials in the division. He himself is not a draw. Triple G himself without Canelo isn't a fucking draw. So it's like I said. I think that PBC is in a financial position to take the same risk and do the same business model that Terrence Crawford did with Amir Khan with these two, and to have financial upside.
Yeah. But yeah, PBC smart enough to know that they'll take a loss on that. That's why they said, no, we're not putting that fight on fucking. That's why Tom Brown, he came out and said, we don't want that fight. That fight doesn't make no money. And then Eddie Hearn was like, okay, you can send him over here. I give him both $7 million. He said, we're not sending him over there to the zone. They just don't want the fight.
You're saying that? Well, are we talking about Andrade here, or are we talking about Canelo?
For Andrade.
I mean, hey, I can speak directly on the Canelo matter. I can't speak directly on the Andrade matter. If that was an offer that got offered, I mean, I didn't personally hear anything about it, but if that was an offer that got offered, then it is what it is. I mean, we could say the same thing about fucking Andrade and Lil Charlo. He's the one that turned down that fight over money issues.
Yeah, I can understand that, but that was years ago and shit like that. And my thing is, I think they was when he said when I watched his interview, he said they was trying to offer They tried to switch. They tried to pull a fucking Mickey Bay on him. They promised him one thing and came back with another contract. Hey man, we might have to take some of that money back and shit like that. Try to hit him one of those. Like, yeah, you ain't getting that 200K. They gonna have to give you like 75 and shit like that. He said that's why he walked away from that.
Well, I mean, I like I said, I haven't read anything about this supposed $7 million DAZN deal anywhere. So who's to say that the same thing didn't happen there? Because I didn't see any article, I didn't see any major newsprint about it. So I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out like what was this? Was it certified by somebody? Did Eddie Hearn say it? Like who spoke on this?
You don't remember the videos came out? Remember Eddie Hearn was on there on like live on the fucking video, showing him sending fucking emails to Charlo and shit like that. Charlo responds to, "Hey, send that shit to Al." He showed
I
him showing us a video of sending emails to Al and shit. You remember those?
I didn't see that, but also Eddie Hearn is a guy that told us that Tyson Fury versus AJ is a done fucking deal, and he also said that Devin Haney was volunteering to fill in for fucking for Rolly against Tank short notice, which was definitely some goddamn bullshit. Because who the fuck fights Tank on short notice, especially if you're a if you were a former WBC champion. So Eddie Hearn says a lot of stuff, just like Bob Arum and Crawford say a lot of stuff. Like I said, I didn't hear about it in any news articles. No verified journalists, went off about it. I'm not going to say that it didn't happen, but I mean, clearly it was. There's something else behind the scenes as to why it's not happening. But either promotional issues affect everybody or they affect nobody. But the duck label is thrown around just so people can fit narratives all the time. Because when you actually get into what's happening, a lot of these stories sound the fucking same. And then people just go ahead and pick who's ducking and who's not based on who they like and who they don't.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And my thing is, most of the time you see shit like that, there's some behind the scenes shit. You got me like remember to the Luis Ortiz, but AJ offered him to fight and shit like that. His fucking team turned it down. You gotta remember Ortiz and his team came up to me, hey, we ain't heard nothing about the offer and shit like that. And it came out that the fucking before they even let the fucking offer get to the team, the upper ups in the motherfucking company turned it down and shit like that. That's why you heard Lewis Ortiz like, hey, send that shit again. Like we didn't mean to turn that down. They didn't tell us nothing about that. Like it'd be like the networks and like the advisors and no shit. Like before the fight even get to you, they go ahead and turn it down and shit like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. On that, there's a situations like that where, yeah, we can definitely agree that the fighters don't have enough agency. And I know some people try to some people use that for Tank. They say the reason why Tank is doing what he's doing is because he doesn't have enough agency in his own career to actualize on the opponents that people say that he wants to fight or whatever. But it's up to, I suppose it's up to people's individual interpretation. Like I don't apply the term duck until I've seen blatant ducking. Like I don't think like I don't like a lot of the time I don't think that like people like Spence and Crawford are ducking a boots or no shit like that. I only classify shit as ducking when I think it's blatant ducking. Like for example, when Virgil Ortiz Jr. didn't want to do a title eliminator with David Avanesian, that smelled like duck sauce.
Yep.
Like shit like that smells like duck sauce. But all this other stuff, like with Andre, Charlo, there's a lot of nuance to it. And I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying that there wasn't like I personally didn't run across any information in which that was presented outside of maybe like a few Instagram lives or some random YouTube videos from Hearn, and Hearn talks a lot of shit. And that's why I asked that question about Terrence Crawford, because Arum talks a lot of shit. I don't trust Arum, and I think that he's fucked over Terrence Crawford a lot. And the main reason that I wanted Terrence Crawford to get away from Bob Arum is not because of big fights not being made, but because Arum was treating him like shit. That was my main reason. Big fights be damned, because Terrence Crawford is still a black man, and I want him to be treated with some damn respect and get what he's supposed to get. But it is what it is. He's finally away from him. That's why I was so mad in 2018 when he re-signed with him. I know why he re-signed with him, because of significant financial upside for the level of competition that he's fighting. But still, it sucked. It sucked.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now. I just joined back again.
Oh, well, we were talking about different situations in ducking and potential fights that are cross promotional. Just general, lots of different stuff.
Oh, okay.
They are trying to get into something. Dana White created Zuffa boxing, I think. So they're trying to
Nah,
like.
he abandoned that idea. He said boxing is too fucked up.
Oh, he didn't want he didn't go through with his idea.
Yeah, but he abandoned that idea. He said, nah, the boxing too fucked up. See, the
I
difference between the UFC and boxing is UFC is not a sport. The UFC is promotion, like a promotional stable and shit like that. MMA is the sport. So like as a sport, it'd be like MMA, Zoo, what's that shit called? PFL League, UFC, Bellator. That is MMA. UFC is just a promotion company. So that'd be like your PBC or your they like Bellator would be like your MMA, I mean your Matchroom and shit like that. That's why UFC is so successful because every guy in UFC is signed to the same guy. They have their own belt. They don't have like an MMA belt. They have a UFC belt. So that's why they're so successful and they can make everybody fight each other inside of their own thing. That's what I think Al Heyman was trying to mimic with PBC. He was trying to mimic what Dana White did with UFC, but but I don't think it was successful at all.
Well, I don't think it would work out for Al Heyman because a lot of people say, "Oh, he should just create the PBC belt or whatever." But I'm thinking that's what the rest of.
That's what his problem was. You can't try to isolate everybody to one place, but fighting for world titles and shit like that. If you want to isolate, just go make your own title. Make a PVC title, or like go fight for a title nobody fights. Like
Well,
y'all
I
should
was
like
gonna
hyperlize
say
IBO.
I was gonna say that that's what the rest of boxing wants. They want all the niggas to be on one accord, one station, fighting each other and leaving everybody else alone. That's already what
It's not even that. Like y'all
what
gonna
they
hate
want.
this and shit like that. Y'all finna really like get mad at this, but I don't like the PVC. I don't think that's really a fucking surprise to anybody. I feel like for
You
as
said
far
that
as
multiple times.
yeah, as far as for fans, like as a fan point of view, they came in and they fucked up a lot of shit in boxing and shit like that, trying to do that isolation and shit like that. Like I'm cool with you isolating, but when you get a belt in the division and you try to isolate it away from the rest of the fucking sport, it's bad for the sport. That's why when you look at
Don't
Terence
you?
Crawford,
Hey, uh,
huh?
hey. Every promoter does that.
Nah,
Every
nah,
promoter is
I would
doing
not. But
in-house fights.
yeah, everybody does it to a certain limit, but they never stopped a fighter from going across the street to like make a fight or go get a belt.
Well, with all due
Fucking Al
respect,
Heyman don't even let you do
Well,
that.
with all due
Like you gotta
respect,
remember
I
the
think
Peter Quillen.
isn't that what Devin Haney got? Isn't that what happened to Devin Haney with Lomachenko? That's
No,
exactly
you
the
got to
thing.
see. That's what people think when they don't like, pay attention behind the scenes. You got to what happened to Lomachenko's fight before that. He was fighting. I can't. What's that motherfucker? Who's the dude he fought before Luke Campbell?
shit was it
Well,
Lenars or Cola?
Bob Arum himself said that Devin signed to the wrong promoter.
Yeah, he's right. I'm
So
finna
of
explain.
course
I
they
can't.
were.
It wasn't Quigley. What's his dude name?
Wait, before he fought
Corolla.
Campbell, it was
Krolla.
either Lenars or Crola.
It was Krolla. So you gotta remember what happened. Krolla was signed to Eddie Hearn. This is what Bob Baron means by that. Krolla was ordered to fight Lomachenko. Eddie Hearn deliberately made Krolla deny every contract that Bob ever sent them, so he can deliberately take it to purse bid and make Lomachenko come fight on the zone. So what Bob ever had to do, he had to pay Krolla $4 billion to come fight on ESPN, and that pissed out. That pissed Bob Arum off, and that's what he was going to do again with Devin Haney. He was going to take that to purse bid and force Lomachenko to come over to the zone. That's what Bob Arum was trying to avoid with that dropping the belt. He's like, well, you can just have this fucking belt. We ain't coming to the zone and shit like that.
But my thing is that when you're and I could understand what you're saying about the Cola situation, but the thing that makes the Devin Haney situation different is that when you intentionally reach out to a sanctioning body, ask for ask for the franchise championship belt, which gives you special privilege and mandatories, simply so you can make another unification with another in-house fighter. To me, that seems like Bob Arum is doing exactly what you're accusing Al Heyman of doing, despite the fact that he brings in external
But
people.
my
Like,
thing is, I'm not giving him a slot for it, shit like that. I'm just explaining the situation. Like nobody likes that franchise shit like that. Like I didn't like what he did with another fucking fight. I'm trying to think what it was.
well, you're trying to
He tried.
articulate that PBC is primarily responsible for the issues that we see in boxing today by doing things that other promoters do to a worse extent.
No,
Exactly.
It's always been in boxing because I don't think when Top
Yeah, I
Rank was
keep
on
on
top,
cooking,
like
man.
you gotta remember, Floyd was over there on Top Rank, Benny Pacquiao, all this stuff. They was doing the same thing over there. In house fightings on fucking Top Rank and shit like one giving Goldie Boy nothing, one giving no other promoter no fights and shit like that. It's just when the tides turned, they adjusted, like they
No,
adapted. Like
precisely.
okay, yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with you with that respect. I agree that
yeah, you
they
gotta remember,
all
like Tim
did.
Bradley. Tim Bradley has never fought a motherfucker who was Top Rank.
No, you're absolutely correct, and I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But I'm trying to figure out what exactly does
Tim
PBC
Bradley
do
also
differently that brings that negatively impacts boxing from anyone else. I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh,
Tim
okay.
Bradley
Hey,
Like
also
those.
created the Sides of the Street narrative. So he also
Yeah, like
created
that
the
yeah,
book
wasn't a
Sides of
thing
the
before
Street.
Bradley even opened his fucking fat peanut head ass mouth.
Yo,
nah,
bro.
that was actually Earl Spence thing. He the one came. He went on camera and said that.
Oh shit.
Yo, shout out to
No,
D
Tim
Hawk
Bradley
though. He
said
knows
that.
talent.
Who was that talking? Is that
I
Polo?
was, yeah. Hey, he recognized. My bad, bro. Earlier, my phone died, but the dude with the skull is a fucking idiot, bro. I'm just out of due respect. My bad, man. How you gonna say Canelo's not a global star, bro?
Wait, what? Are you talking to me?
The,
He talking
no,
about
and I'm talking about
Craw.
the dude with the skull. Yeah, bro. I was in Uruguay, bro, and had a no boxing, no life shirt, and they knew who the fuck that was. Talking about he's not global, bro. And fucking Uruguay, whenever the damn boxer ever came out of Uruguay, they knew who the fuck Canelo was.
You were where?
Bro, are you a fucking idiot? Yes, he does, bro. You go to the UK, Canada, bro. I got family members in the Canada, bro. Bro, he's famous. You fucking idiot, bro. You're a fucking moron, bro. You're a fucking moron. How's he not global? Who's the face of boxing, bro? Bro,
How are you
you're the
gonna?
fucking
How is he?
idiot,
Wait,
bro.
wait, wait.
How
You,
is he
What are
gonna
y'all
bro.
arguing?
explain
What
it
are
He's a
if
y'all
y'all
global.
keep?
arguing?
Hold up, hold up,
Hey,
hold up,
out of
hold up,
Wait,
hold
respect,
up,
wait.
bro.
hold up,
He's a
What are y'all
Whoa,
arguing?
whoa,
bro,
whoa!
hold
One
up,
at a
hold
bro.
up.
time, y'all. One at a time.
Hold up,
Yeah.
hold up.
No,
Wait,
he.
wait, wait, wait. What
My
are y'all
brother,
arguing?
I'm
how
fucking
y'all? How you
confused.
gonna explain it? Let him explain it. How is he gonna explain it if you keep cutting him off? Stop cutting him off. Let him talk.
Yeah, what are y'all trying to discuss?
Yeah, Crowd, go ahead. Go ahead, Crowd.
He's-
Based on what? No, I'm saying like on what examples are you saying they're global and Canelo's not?
Like motherfuckers know Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones Jr. in Kubakistan and Kazakhstan. Like Lomachenko, he said, man, growing up, I was able to watch Roy Jones Jr. and he was a big star where I was at. Big star. Who else is doing shit like that in our generation?
Okay, so now
Nobody.
rebuttal that Polo, rebuttal it.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, what's your defense to that? Because I don't want to say I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing.
Oh, Polo. All right, I guess
Oh,
he
tapped
went.
out?
Yeah, I don't know what
He
happened there,
probably in the chat waiting to get in. He probably left out.
but I will say that I think Canelo is he's known worldwide, but most of his revenue generation and most of his most hardcore fan base, I think, is based in the United States, specifically Hispanic Americans. But that's just me.
I agree.
Oh my
They
god, bro.
might
Yeah,
know him, but they're
they
not
do.
gonna buy his
They
fight.
know him.
Bro, bro.
They know him.
Oh my bad. Hold on, I literally got a homie. He's like a faraway cousin in the UK. They literally said he's heard rumors they're trying to do a fight for Canelo in the UK. He's known, bro. Like I don't know, maybe not yet, but he's known, bro. Trust me, he's known, bro. Like you're
Not in the
making it seem,
UK, but
and
like
you
just say, give us
realize
another,
he got
give us
fans,
another example. Not in the UK.
bro.
Give us an
He
example
said,
somewhere
listen,
like
bro, listen. He says that Mexican Americans. Yeah, that's because, bro, this is where all the big fights are in the United States. He does have a fan base in Mexico in certain parts, the reason why they don't like him is they don't like his style because he doesn't come forward like Barrera did, like Morales did, and Marcus did, and because he got brought up by a huge network. And he's kind of like, I'm not trying to bring race into it, but he doesn't look like your typical Mexican. That's why a lot of people don't like him. Like, he's a fucking ginger, and like he doesn't have the Mexican style. And because he did this famous like Miss Universal for Mexico, they didn't like how he was getting brought up. They thought that at first they were just like he was just marketable. He was like another Ryan Garcia, but then over time, he gained fans. But he's liked in Mexico in certain part. Not like Chavez, not like Marquez, but Marquez was hated in certain part of Mexico. The only boxer I can keep it 100 with you that is like all over Mexico is Chavez. Marquez isn't like in certain parts of Mexico. If you go where Chavez is, where my grandpa's from, they don't like Marquez, bro. They be clowning Marquez, saying that he's a fucking has no defense. He used to get drafted, drinks his own piss. They be clowning him. And then where Marquez is from, but Chavez is a legend, bro. But listen, Marcus didn't Marcus get his ass beat by Pacquiao the first and second fight? Yes, he did. Bro, no, wasn't. He only won the third and fourth. What are you talking about,
The
bro?
first fight
He
was a
got his
draw, bro.
yeah, no. But Pacquiao dropped it. But you know the history, bro. They only scored a draw because they didn't score the round 10. Was it 10-6 for Pacquiao because those 3 knockdowns? There was an error. They scored it 10-7, not 10-6. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, Marcus is a good fighter, bro, but there's like certain like flaws in him too. Like he didn't fight when he fought Barrera. He lost that fight arguably. Barrera whooped his ass. I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna tell me you sit here and say that Barrera. Yeah, he's a good fighter, no doubt. But that's why, like I said, like there's certain parts that they don't respect Marcus. It's just not the media or whoever. Like depends on who you talk to. Is not gonna tell you that. Like the only fighter that was liked was Chavez and Salvador Sanchez all over, and kinda Eric Morales, kinda. Bro, it just depends on which. Like I said, you got like, bro. I've been in Mexico, I lived there, so I know like certain parts they say shit. But the most respected is either Chavez or Salvador Sanchez or the dude that was in the small divisions, Benito Lopez.
No,
Who's Vargas?
Ricardo.
Fernando. Oh, Benito Lopez, bro. Benito Lopez.
Yeah.
Ricardo. Ricardo Vargas, Fernando Vargas, bro. Nah, bro. He's not respected, bro. He's not respected. Which one? Ricardo Mayorga is not Mexican, bro. Not that I. Yeah, they're doing the smaller divisions that went undefeated. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he was a fucking beast.
So the initial argument was Canelo's global superstardom, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, it was just earlier. My bad, bro. I didn't mean to come disrespectful. It's just the way you were like, bro, like he is, like he's eventually gonna get like there to like that level, but he is known around the world now, bro. Like, sir, I don't know where like since he's fighting Makabu, I'm pretty sure he's known where that dude's from, so he is getting known.
Well,
Yeah, but what
the
fighters
money
did,
isn't global.
bro? Listen, yeah, that is true. Mayweather never fought outside the United States. Canelo, because bro, the money is here. The only place after he retired, bro. So you're gonna
Yeah,
count
after he
exhibition
retired.
matches at boxing? Yeah, but he didn't fight a fight, bro. What the, bro? When did he ever go to? Bro, it's no point of him going to Japan. Canelo might go to the UK or Japan. There was talks of him going to Japan to fight the dude that Triple G was supposed to fight, but like I said, Canelo just fights in the States because it makes the most sense, bro. Bro, but what money is that going to generate? First of all, I'm not trying to be. First off, most South American countries are not going to do the revenue that maybe Mexico when he retires, like towards the end of the career, he's been trying to do that, but he'll end up doing that where he's from. But he'll fight in the UK before his career is over.
Well, he's been fighting in the UK, and that shit been buns on the number side of the game.
Who?
Hasn't Canelo had a fight in the UK yet?
No, never.
Nah.
He's only fought in Mexico here, and I think I forgot what
Because he hasn't fought in
or...
Mexico. He hasn't fought in Mexico since Centron, right?
No, yeah. You're right, but I'm saying, bro, there's a new stadium being built. Like that a soccer team. He could fight easily where he's from in South. People will talk, but they'll show up, bro. Like there's certain parts in Mexico where he can fight and they'll make decent bread, but there's certain parts that that if he goes to he won't make. But if he fights where he's from or like the bigger cities, he'll make decent bread. Not like what he'll make here, but he can
So
pull out
my
a state.
question would be, what does a fight need to do to be considered global?
That's what I understand. Like I think global is like Canelo, fucking is Tank considered global? I think so.
Yeah, on the popularity side, I think Tank is global, but of course, most of his revenue, if not all, is going to be generated from U.S. viewership. Same
But
for
yeah, bro.
Canelo.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Why would they go fight? I mean, unless it's like a big fight, like the only countries I can see them do is fighting in Saudi Arabia or Japan or UK. But the fuck are they gonna go to Chile or Argentina to fight for you? You get what I'm saying, bro? Like, there's no really point of them fighting outside the USA. That's why everybody comes here to fight. The UK scene has been growing and stuff, and like Australia and countries like that. But it makes the most sense to do it here in America. That's where all the big boxing fights have been done, right?
Well, Midwest
Am I
says there's lots
correct?
of money overseas, so
That's true. That is true though in Saudi Arabia, but think about it, bro. It doesn't make sense. They want to do it in a, but beyond, hey, yeah, but they got money, bro. They that's why there's a reason they're trying to do it out there because they'll pay. But hey, yeah, isn't it true? All the big fights have been done here, basically.
100%. U.S. is all where all the money is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, you'll have countries like maybe like the big like example they could do it in France, but France isn't a big boxing country like that. So like the only way I can see is like the UK or maybe even Canada. But after what I saw with the Beterbiev fight, I'm like, damn, I don't think maybe when like what was that dude that got knocked out by the dude that Beterbiev beat? He was pretty big in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah,
Don Stevenson.
yep, Jim Pascal. Like when those dudes were around, yeah, they were pretty big. But what I saw with Beterbiev, I'm like, damn, that shit looked empty as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is to Top Rank is to blame, but also they let an external promotion handle that. They let I think Better
That
BF's
was fucking stupid.
yeah, they let Better BF's domestic promoter in Canada handle it.
Yeah.
So that's on Top Rank to go ahead and
Bro,
dig that up.
did you see how trash the undercard was, bro? I felt man, that shit was trash.
It was pitiful. I think I'm the only person in the world that watched the entire like all the fights through and through.
Did you see that one Mexican dude that was like, where are they getting these guys from? Like, bro, they get these guys just to like that's so bogus. Like,
Yeah, it was fucking awful. I don't fucking know. But
no, but it's like, yeah,
yeah, but no, I think personally, I think Canelo is globally known, I would say. But again, like we just discussed, the majority of his revenue, of course, is from in his heart. His most hardcore fans are people of Hispanic American descent.
yeah, Latinos too, bro. When he won the undisputed, bro, you know, how, like I heard a comment, like I was watching a stream that you were like, no, when a dude from Honduras it came out from you, bro. And it's funny because when Canelo won, I saw people that weren't Mexican celebrating his victory, like yeah, for the Latinos, for the Latinos. I'm like, damn, when Canelo won, but where was that energy when he lost with Mayweather?
Yeah,
Same with
yeah,
Andy Reese. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Randy
I'm
Ruiz
like,
didn't get no love after he lost to AJ, even though it was just a
yeah,
decision. They treated him like he
yeah,
got
but
knocked out or some shit.
right, but no, but I'm saying not just the men, Latino people were celebrating that shit, like yeah, like go Andy Reese, but it's like, damn, bro, like it's discipline, bro. I think he's not disciplined. He let the fame get to him. He's still got talent. I feel like he can pick up a vacant, but eventually he's like one of those fighters that'll probably win a fight then lose, then
Well, he just has to get adjusted to his being down in weight. He's down a significant amount of weight. His punch resistance is obviously off,
yeah,
so he has to get used to that and fight more consistently if he can get
yeah,
fights. Because niggas are heavyweight and moving kind of funny right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, I know what
yeah.
Wilder's doing, but Fury's bullshitting. AJ and Usyk, they have to fight, and the rest of the division is I don't know what the fuck is going on. The rest of the division's trash. You
And
got Chisora's bitch ass still fighting. Char is about to fight Brian, and then Frank Sanchez and them are about to have some fights. So after this weekend, Andy Reid needs to make some moves.
yeah, I know he needs to. And one thing that I realized, bro, over like this, that Wilder actually brought the heavyweight division back because back then, bro, growing up, all I heard was the Klitschko's, different Eastern Europeans, and Wilder came out of nowhere, and then Joshua came. So I feel like Wilder brought it back in the States, but Joshua also had an effect too. Like I feel like back then nobody gave a shit about the heavyweight division between like the early 2000s and no, not early, but like late 2000s and after Wilder came around, I feel like the heavyweight division got back. People were interested in it.
Yeah. I personally enjoyed the Klitschko era, but that's just me because, as I've gotten older, I do appreciate pure boxing more than I used to. I used to not really care for it that much, but now as I've gotten older, I definitely appreciate it. Not to say that the Klitschko's didn't get knockouts; they got a hell of a lot of knockouts, but I didn't think the Klitschko era sucked as much dick as everybody else did.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't think it was their fighting style. I think it was that Americans didn't care too much about like their name. Like they had them long ass names. That shit this club. Boy, I want to pronounce that shit.
Klitschko, it's two syllables.
Man,
Nobody,
Hakeem,
the
I just
Americans didn't care about that shit. Motherfucking fighters
bro,
didn't care about that. They killed the heavyweight division, and nobody gave a fuck about the heavyweight division again until about
Wilder, Joshua.
2015. 2015.
Joshua, because Joshua and Wilder, bro. Joshua and Wilder, bro. I'll give it all respect. Now it was Joshua and fucking Wilder. Then Tyson Fury came along, trying to do his character and. But I just can't believe you're a Joshua fan. Like, what made you be a Joshua fan, Hakeem?
His fight style, that dude, he had a lot of attention on. I remember when he was in the Olympics and shit like that. I,
Yeah, I remember
I
that shit,
remember,
bro. He won the gold medal. I was like, damn, this dude's about to be a problem. Man, I know you were
yeah, I
disappointed when he
remember he
lost
was
to
coming
Reese,
up. I
bro.
remember he fought Dillian White, and I remember he was
Yeah,
gonna fight Charles Martin. I remember everybody was watching that fight, no matter where you was. Americans was watching it,
yeah, dude, he
caregivers was
beat the
watching
shit
it.
out
Get
of
that belt.
Charles Martin. Damn,
Yeah,
bro,
and
he
I feel like
knocked
that
out
fight
Charles
right
Martin.
there is when everybody like, okay, heavyweight division back alive.
Right. How about what's his name? When he fought Reese, were you disappointed? But he bounced back and beat the shit out of Reese for the second fight. Were you disappointed when he lost the first fight? I know you was disappointed, bro.
I was.
Yeah, well, but then I don't know. I just accepted it. And I'm like, shit. It's
It's a
like I
loss.
think we all been like spoiled by Mayweather era because you got Mayweather, he retired fucking undefeated. Ward came out retired undefeated, and then we just all gotta realize a lot of these fighters not gonna retire undefeated. Motherfuckers gonna get lost
Yes,
too
that's what I've
fucking
been
in out
trying to
there.
tell, bro. That's what I've been trying to tell a lot of people. Like, bro, like Haney, Tank, Valdez, they're not gonna retire. What they're all gonna eventually lose. We're not gonna get another Mayweather, bro. That shit's not gonna. Not maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in a couple. But we're not gonna see another Mayweather, bro, in this generation. We might not even see another Canelo, bro. Like who?
Right.
You know who I want to see, bro? You know who I want to see? I don't know if you guys. I fuck with him personally. I gave respect when he came out there because he hired a Hispanic artist. Montana Love, bro. Him versus Tank would be a good ass fight on pay per view.
Oh
You know
shit. I
Montana
mean,
Love?
yeah. I mean, we know him, but Montana Love been fighting for a minute. And niggas didn't know who he was till like last month. So
No, they knew of him. He beat the shit out of that Russian dude on the Jake Paul undercard.
oh,
Nah, he's a beast, bro.
I mean, he's cool, but he also struggled against the branch. He almost got stopped in his damn self.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. Then he came
yeah,
back. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, no. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying he's garbage, and I think it would be a good fight. But we gotta see. I think if anything, the only people that I think will retire with their O might be like Terrence Crawford and Boots.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I feel like Haney and I'm saying Valdez, Cepeda, Ryan Garcia, Pitbull relaxes. I'm saying they're all gonna retire. Like, and I don't think unless Canelo goes up
Mungia,
and
he gonna
fights.
retire with his O two.
You think so? I mean, shit. The way I don't
Yeah,
know, bro. Anything
The
can.
way
Why?
they're moving him, yeah, probably because he's
But bro,
not.
he has talent, bro. He's just the thing with Golden. He has talent. That's why he switched trainers. Golden Boy, made him get Eric Morales because they're from the same state. And I mean, I like Munguia though. But at first I was kind of losing hope. Like after the Saddam Ali victory, I was like, damn, where's this dude coming? They was talking about the Canelo fight. I'm like, hell no, bro. Canelo beat the shit out of him.
I
They
mean,
wanted
shit.
him because the Mexican fans are divided, bro. They think Munguia and some think Sora will be the one to give Canelo a second loss. That's what I'm saying. That pay per view would do numbers, but my phone died. I'm telling you, bro. Cejudo's getting his fan base, so that's why I said it would do
Jaime,
good pay per view numbers because they'll divide. But Jaime Munguia not gonna beat Canelo, bro. I already
yeah,
know that.
Jaime Munguia is not gonna do shit. He doesn't even want to fight fucking Andre at 160. The WBO president literally literally told me on Twitter that he decided that he didn't want to challenge Andre for his fucking title. I got screenshots
Bro,
and
he wants the
everything.
green belt, bro. But I'm telling you, Munguia, gets better. Because I mean, I watched the Rosado fight, and boxing wise, he did beat the shit out of Rosado. I mean, he hurt him a couple times. Like I saw, him but he ate that shit. But a stoppage would have, put the icing on the cake. But let's see how he does against Adames, bro. Because what happens if he ends up knocking out Adames? Is that a statement? Is he gonna get credit for that, or do you think? Because Adames is never, but he is a solid contender, though.
No, Adamas is
He
fine.
should
I mean,
fight him too.
I
I
mean,
I think
he
he's ready
should
for that
fight him, but I
WBC
think he
title
should
shot.
already. I think he should have already been fighting Charlo because he's been the number one for the WBC for like how many fucking months now?
Right.
He
But I
should have
mean,
been
you're
already
right
fought
about
Charlo.
Man, but it's like that network shit though, because I don't know, man. I've never seen Golden Boy ever since they left Showtime get crossover. So how are they gonna do that? How are they gonna do What's that dude at 130 gonna fight Roger Gutierrez? I've never seen a Golden Boy in recent time. Yeah, he's a beast,
Castano
bro.
Castano went to the zone, fought for Teixeira, and then he came to PBC and fought Charlo. So clearly it's
But
possible.
he, no, but Golden Boy fighters, bro. Golden Boy, certain Matchroom fighters. But Castaño's not with Matchroom or Golden Boy, bro. Who is he? He's not even. Is he with PBC technically, or who is he with?
No, he's not. I don't think. No, I don't believe he signed the PBC. But Jaime Munguia is a designated
I
Golden
think
Boy
he a
fighter.
Samson Lukowicz fighter, ain't he? He a Samson
I
Lukowicz fighter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. But wait, hold on. Jaime Munguia is like with Golden Boy for real.
Yeah, he
Like he
signed with
signed.
Golden Boy. He got brought up by Cyber Promotions, which is like a Mexican company that helps young Mexican talent because there isn't funding from that's one thing why a lot of Mexican fighters that were actually good struggle to make it in the States because they don't have no funding. But it's like and they brought him to Golden Boy. Golden, yeah, he signed him, Virgil Ortiz,
Ah,
Sud,
fuck.
Rashid. Yeah, he signed with Golden Boy, and that's
I
not good.
thought I thought he got representation third party like Cambosis with DeBella or some other shit. But I didn't know he was
Hell
actually
no, bro.
signed to Golden Boy.
Yeah, he signed with
Ah,
Golden Boy, bro.
fuck. Ah, well, that explains that
I mean,
bullshit.
yeah, it's not like Gathering. I know because Golden Boy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. He does some he tells certain fighters which fight not to take. Like he didn't want when Canelo fought Lara. He didn't want Canelo to take that fight, and Canelo took it. But that's what Golden Boy. I think Golden Boy it's a good promotion for to come up, but he be doing some shady holding back certain fighters. Like look what he's doing with Rashid Ellis, the dude that Ronald Ellis' brother. That dude's a fucking beast. Blair Cobbs, what are they doing with those guys? It's petty. Like why is he
Well,
doing them
R-
like that? Rashad Ellis is a beast.
Rashidi Ellis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. should have been fought, but they got that dude in Negro storage.
Man, that's no, but what they should do, bro, is they should make, you can have two welterweights, just make, Rashad go through the IBF route or W and have Virgil go to the W. I mean, they could have you could have two champions on the same step and eventually, cook make it a big fight. Like Rashad Ellis is in the IBF rankings, but shit, he got talent, bro, but I don't know if he'll beat Spence now.
He ain't doing shit. Well, I mean, when's the last time he fought? 2020 or
Yeah,
2019?
2020, bro.
Shit. And I didn't even, honestly, no cap, I didn't even fucking watch Rasheed Ellis's fucking 2020 fight. Like, whoever the fuck it was. Like,
Bro, he's
it,
fast as shit. He got talent,
oh,
bro. I think
he fought Roker.
Rocha,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Roker. Yeah, he's
But I
been
mean,
on
Alexis, I was
fucking.
never really high on Alexis, bro. I don't know, Virgil Ortiz versus him is gonna be a good ass fight. I think they both have, they both can beat each other. But maybe, like I said, I don't know what he's trying to do with them. There's funny. Look with Blair Cobbs, bro. I think he's trying to fight Boots.
Yeah, he's trying to fight Boots. Boots is close to the title shot, and Boots' dad already came and said when Boots was a child, he whooped his ass in sparring. So I'm not sure what Blair Cobb's going to do with him now. I think he just wants the exposure.
Bro, I think Blair Cobbs be thinking he's Mexican. So does Chris Colbert. I asked our man. I said, bro, can we claim Blair Cobbs and Chris, and you guys can take their Benavides? Blair Cobbs used to live in Mexico. I think he
We will absolutely take Benavidez over Blair Cobb. Y'all can have that nigga.
Oh yeah, we'll take Chris Colbert too. I'm telling you. Oh, there's this.
No. You only get fucking Cobbs. We keeping Chris Colbert. Fucking all.
Damn, bro. But I saw Chris Colbert's dad is Mexican. Maybe not biological, but the dude that took care of him, he's Mexican. So I don't know. Chris Colbert said that he feels like he's Mexican.
he just did. He just did that so he doesn't get spammed the N word in his inbox every day like me, Artman, and a bunch of other people.
Man,
He just said that shit so he doesn't get called the fucking Mayate every day of his goddamn life.
man. But what do you? But I mean, Chris Cover doesn't really do anything to get people mad. I mean, if he does, like, I'm not gonna keep it 100, bro. Like, yeah, that's fucked up. They do that, like. But I think like as long as I don't know, it also depends. Like we've all like do say stupid shit, but it's like, is it randomly people do it, or do you guys say certain stuff?
No, I mean sometimes it's random. Sometimes it's, if there's like a big money fight and there's a and like a black fighter wears Mexican colors, I know that shit can do it. That shit'll trigger some
Here's the
people.
thing, though, bro. Like certain Hispanics, bro, like when Tyson Fury did, they did get offended, bro. They were clowning him, calling him all kinds of shit that if you read the comments, it just depends on you think. Like when Montana Love did it and he came out with that Hispanic artist, it wasn't we respect but some of us, like me personally, I thought it was cool because yeah, it might have not matched the our costume, because he wasn't gonna come out with Vicente Fernandez because Vicente Fernandez was in a coma, but like he came out with the Hispanic artist that's known within like the Mexican American community. I was like, hey, that's dope, but like I don't mind it. It just depends on like, are they like trying to do it to embrace like to show the respect? Are they doing it for fans or like that's the question? I think a lot of like certain Mexican fans get offended. Like what's the purpose of them doing it? Like we will see like Cinco de Mayo or like Independence Day. Like when Tank did it, I don't see no part because it was in San Antonio. It was a middle of epidemic. Like there wasn't no wrong for him doing it. You feel me? But if it's just a random
Yeah.
title fight, it's like damn. And I'm saying like if a Hispanic fighter came out into like I'm not trying to like and like Gary Russell's coming, there wouldn't be a problem with that. Or you think some? Be honest, bro. Keep it. I feel like there would be kind of like I don't know, maybe like they would trip, but I feel like some people would still like get offended.
Well, people barely like Gary Russell now. He ain't never done no shit like that, and
Gary Russell's
especially and it's especially because Gary Russell does shit like he wears an onk all the time, and he's very openly pro black. So a lot of people don't like that off the top. But I think you're right about it being
I don't think that's the reason nobody likes Gary Russell. I think his inactivity is why nobody likes him. Because
man,
nobody
but
really remembers him. Because he fights like once every 2 years.
well, there's a difference. I mean, shit, you can use that as a reason for why you don't care for someone as a fighter, but don't like him personally. I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, because Gary Russell's openly pro-black, he gets a lot of backlash for that. In addition to, the only thing he gets any actual credit for is losing to fucking Lomachenko. But whenever you try to bring up his actual active career accolades, people just talk shit like, well, he hadn't done shit for me lately, so fuck it.
no, ain't no problem with like I said, but ain't no problem with like certain nationalities supporting their fighters. It's when like I say that certain comments get made like, oh fuck you, we're better. I think that's what there's a team, but there's no problem with like supporting your own. It's just when there's like when you start offending a certain nationality, a certain race, that's what the problem. I think that's what certain team. If everyone like respected or like they didn't make it always about race, I think boxing would be more. But I just feel like if it was just like, because I don't see this shit in MMA, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. Like I don't really see this shit in MMA. Do you?
I see some of it, but it's far less. It's definitely far
Yes,
less in
bro.
MMA because, and it's also because there are fewer options though because there are only one belt per division. The cream gonna rise to the top regardless. It's like the same people who are racist, like some Mexican fans have things against black people, but then they'll love the fucking Raiders, and the Raiders is like all black. So it just depends on how many options you have. Like in the NFL, there aren't that many Hispanic options for liking different teams and different people. And to your point, I hope that Canelo goes to fucking Africa and whoops Booty ass in a dashiki so we could get over it. Because I guarantee you, most black people are not gonna really be mad at that shit.
Nah,
I
I'm
just,
not so sure about that, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. I'm not so sure the it's because Hakeem, what do you think, bro? I'm not sure the backlash is gonna be good on that, bro. I'm gonna keep it
I
100 with
hope he
you.
does because I'm not gonna give a fuck.
Okay, yeah, like I said, bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if it's Cinco de Mayo or like if it's cars. Like say, like example, if Tank did it and he came out with Vicente Fernandez, like ain't no problem with that because damn, he came out with the traditional and Vicente Fernandez, and then the other fighter, like I think he should get more respect. Example, like if Reese fought like an example, fuck Charles Martin, and then Charles Martin came out with Vicente Fernandez, and then Reese came out with Nisi Officer. Like, wait, we should credit Charles Martin because he embraced the culture. He came out with some, ain't no problem with that. But when it's just like, it's no like, what's the special like tradition? Is it just embracing the culture? Is he trying to Like, let them gain their fans. Let them gain Mexican fans. Ain't no problem with that. It's just when there's like, what was the purpose of bringing? You get what I'm saying, bro?
Well, with Mayweather, I'm not gonna say what it was or what it wasn't, but maybe there was some disrespect there. But I think with Tank and everybody else,
No, they ain't
I
no
think that
disrespect. I think they're just tripping with Mayweather. Bro, be honest, that was kind of like I don't know, man. That was I don't really want to comment because I said Mayweather was a great fighter. I don't hate with them. Like the thing is, when people say be like when they make like I think what stirs the pot is I seen like he beat all your favorite fighters. Like bro, like if you look at it, besides like actual Mexican fighters, which Mexican fighters did he fight? Like it's like comments like that get people started off. Like he's a great ass fighter, bro. Like defensive wise, like bro, if you know boxing, you appreciate like. Yeah, he did certain shit. He made comments. He's like you were saying in the preview. He opened his mouth when he shouldn't, like about certain shit that he could have stayed quiet. But like I feel like it's just that's why it's just how Mayweather's attitude was. That's why people don't like him.
well, I mean the versus beef, the when it came to the racial issue, that was mostly a top rank De La Hoya situation. That wasn't on Mayweather's, and they got that whole beef thing started, with him. So Mayweather kind of put the icing on the cake when he came out in the traditional Mexican colors and garb. So that's why I think that was more some beef shit. But I think everybody else does it out of respect. I mean, even
Yeah,
Tyson Fury. I mean, I don't care for Tyson Fury at all, but I don't think he was there to disrespect people. Just like I don't think Tank was, and I don't think Stephen Fulton was, and I don't think that Montana Love was. Crawford fought in the UK and it didn't help his superstardom. Well, I'm not one of those people that believe Bob Arum when he says that Crawford needs to promote himself. But as far as in the meantime, in between time, not saying goofy shit, getting Big Mac and Bernie off camera, and like not being like super duper goofy would also help. I think that will also help Terrence Crawford out a bit with his stardom. But also, Bud's super fans don't help him either, because a lot of time people take out.
I
Oh,
actually agree with Bob Arum. Like a promoter's and the job is to promote fights. Promote fights. They don't necessarily have to promote the fighter all the time and shit like that. And you see that with all their fighters. They don't like off the record. They fucking promoting Lomachenko.
yeah, no, I don't. I disagree. I think that it's
You
Bob
need to
Arum.
promote yourself. Like think about Muhammad Ali. He one of the ones who started like he chasing fucking oh who was it? Frazier around going to his house with the fucking speakerphone and shit like that. You got to get out there and like make the public see you and shit like that.
Well,
Terrence Crawford, great fighter.
the
Motherfucker
reason why I
boring, bro.
disagree,
Like
the
watch
reason
his
why I
interviews.
dis,
Dude is boring.
the reason why I disagree with that is because a promoter they don't always represent both fighters. They represent one particular fighter oftentimes when they're going into a bout, and a promoter gets a percentage off of labor done. I think the fighter actively taking time out of their day to go and promote themselves like that constitutes labor, and that's something that someone else is compensated for, which is the promoter. So I think that if Crawford's going out there taking those hours and putting that into promotion, I think it's like, why am I paying a promoter for me to also take up part of their labor effort in this endeavor to get the fight going? When that's what I'm
Well, it's
compensating
because the
them for. So that
promoter
should be more.
states
That
promote
should
the
be more
bout.
money. Well, if one fighter is coming from one promotion company and another fighter is coming from another, the promotion companies work for the fighters. I mean, the fight too, but also the fighters. Because if you promote a fighter well, that generates more money, and it behooves you to do so.
yo, y'all talking about Lomachenko, right? My
Not
bad,
just
I'm talking
Tank.
like
about Terrence
anybody.
Crawford.
My question is,
Oh,
besides Eddie Hearn, name a promoter that promotes a fighter when they don't have a fight coming up.
Golden Boy.
Shit.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
I
do.
was
It
gonna say
depends on who.
Top Rank is constantly throwing Lomachenko at people, and when he doesn't have fights,
Yo, remember? Do
constantly.
you guys remember when Lomachenko fought Salido? Like, did you guys remember when he fought Salido and he lost? Like the actual like that year. Like, did you guys watch the Salido fight live?
I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact, but I remember
No, on
with
HO.
the
Yeah, I saw the fight live.
Bro, what was the reaction after you got his ass whooped? That shit was hilarious.
I was surprised he didn't get DQ'd. I'm like, man, they need to DQ Slee. This dude is
Yeah, he
literally
was
punched
making
this
him rough,
motherfucker in
bro.
the dick.
But you know what I wrote? I realized, bro. Ever since that fight, I've never seen Lomachenko actually fight a Mexican fighter. Have you guys noticed that?
Uh, I haven't been. I mean, no, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I haven't paid
Yeah,
that deep attention to that aspect of his career, but yeah, I don't think he has since then.
yeah. Mikey Garcia was gonna be the closest thing, but other than that, he's never fought a. That shit's crazy.
Maybe he's traumatized. Oh wait, hold up. Oh wait, Pedraza is Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Teofimo Lopez is from.
Mariaga, Mariaga's
Is
Colombian. Linares is
yeah.
Venezuelan. Martinez is Puerto Rican. Oh, he fought a Romelo Kokoschka, who was fucking Mexican after Salido.
He did. Damn, I didn't even.
Yeah, so he fought one more unknown Mexican dude after Salido, but he wasn't really a name, so he didn't fight any more big name Mexican fights.
Damn, I would love to see that Mikey
Yes,
Garcia Lomachenko
the
fight.
Mexican he's supposed to get was Mikey Garcia. But Mikey Garcia is like notoriously known for not fighting the motherfuckers people wanted him to fight.
Yeah, if I down fought Sandor Martin and that shit went left.
Yeah, fucking idiot. Remember, I see something. I see something in him.
I mean, shit.
But
I'm
what?
glad he took the Spence fight. I appreciated that. That shit. I like
He
Mikey for
stepped
that.
up, bro. Hey, yeah, he's the. Hey, be honest, bro. Out of all the fighters, he was the only one that actually took the fight. That time, everybody was stuck in Spence.
Yeah, so I should. I
Everybody was
mean, Mikey.
scared.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say a bad thing about Mikey. That's why when he lost to Sandor, people were cooking his ass. I was like, damn, this is some disrespect. I mean, it's not like he got his ass whooped. He just got outpointed.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, bro. No, I mean, they were gonna stop the fight, but I don't think he got hurt. And he did get hurt, but I don't think it was nothing. Like they were gonna stop it because they saw that he was gonna fucking lose. It wasn't going anywhere.
First blood. Minions have spawned.
Yep. Yeah, everybody wanted to see that fight. They were asking for that Danny Garcia. Yeah, he should have at least took him to get the top 10, and then took him to Spence fight. And then when he came back, he fought Vargas. Vargas was a two-time champion. Is a champion on his resume. Not like the top, maybe at that time maybe top 10, but and then he fought Sandor Martin, which but shit. What do you think is gonna happen with his career? Do you think he keeps fighting or he's gonna rematch? I think he rematches Sandor, bro, and knocks him out. Why not? I think Mikey can beat him in the rematch. Like I said, I think he should just rematch and get that back in revenge and just move on. Or like I said, because I don't know if he's gonna win another world title. I don't even know what he's gonna do with his career at this point. Yeah, he's not fucking on. He'll fight AJ Bonner again. Would you guys see Mikey Garcia versus Bonner part two?
Has been slain.
Yo, what's up with everybody? Everybody's quiet.
Nah, I'm here. I'm just letting y'all cook.
Oh, okay, I feel you, bro. Is Hakeem still in the chat?
Yeah, I'm just not interested in seeing the Mikey Garcia fight.
Man, I said, would you guys want to see a Mikey Garcia versus AJ Bonner too?
I don't want to see shit of Mikey Garcia.
Nah, I
Damn,
don't
just
even
like
see
that.
him Adrian Bronner either.
Get
Damn, you
Mikey
don't want to see
Garcia out of
Mikey.
here.
Damn, you don't want to see Mikey Garcia art, man.
Hell no.
What? What
What's
did
the
he
point?
do? Shit, let him.
Yeah,
Still
ain't no
gotta.
point in seeing that shit. I'd rather see.
I to me, I've never really been high on Mikey. Like I remember, like I was like, oh man, he should fight Gamboa when Gamboa was at the top of his game. He did never fought
Yeah,
Gamboa. I was like, man, he should fight Lenarian.
yeah, that would have been a good ass fight. Hey, fuck around and yeah. Hey, do Mikey versus Conor Brennan, bro. Mikey versus Conor Brennan in the UK.
Dude, Mikey just lost to somebody that we don't even care. Like the way he lost too, it's not like he lost like AJ versus Ruiz. He just lost, like completely got outboxed by a guy. Yeah.
Yo, fuck it. Actually, you do this. The match of the long layups. Do Jose Benavidez Jr. versus Mikey Garcia in Los Angeles. Fuck it.
An enemy has been slain.
Yo, what you think of Conor Brennan? Do you think he'll be champion or he's in the mix?
I feel like he'll snatch one of the vacant belts eventually.
What you say, bro?
So I feel like he'll snatch one of the vacant belts eventually
Yeah,
if he decides
bro.
to stay
So
in the
this
weight class that long.
I was on Twitter, right? And then some like yeah, they were playing. There's something about Bridger Ortiz, and some Brit was like, "Just don't send no Mexican over, man. We don't want that. We don't want Conor to
An
lose."
ally has been
I'm like,
slain.
fuck around, and then he gets matched up by an unknown Mexican and gets knocked out or beat. I know our man would be cooking shit, and they'll be like, our man is gonna be talking shit.
So we talked about shit. Yeah, I'm not sold on I'm not sold on him just yet. I don't know about going down in weight. Shit, if he could make it comfortably, but I like him, dude. Man, people may not see it, but I seen the glimpse. He got a little of that explosiveness his pop got. He got them athletics and athletic genes in him. I think he got it, man. Just a better training, you know. Couple more years, I think he got it.
Enemy killing spree. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has
Who the
been
hell he gonna
slain.
fight at 147? Conor Bennett now? Shit, if he's good enough. He got power too. And that's what I seen it, man. He got it, dude. You just need to tighten up that defense. He look he's the guy that should be promoted the way they promote Nicholas Walsh, Nico Walsh. They need to promote Evan Holyfield the way they promote that guy because this is a guy that you can actually be like, oh, okay, this is Holyfield's actual son. You know, not his grandson. But I don't know. I want to
He's
see
a
him.
PBC fighter. If I'm mistaken, he's a Kathy Duval fighter. And that's who I saw up there with him, Kathy Duval.
Wait, who y'all talking about now?
Yeah, ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Y'all talking
We're
about
talking about
Holyfield,
Holyfield
Holyfield
Jr.
Jr.?
He not a PBC fighter. He a Kathy Duval fighter.
Y'all talking about Holyfield Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think he's signed with any direct promotion because I've even seen him on DAZN too. So he just goes wherever the offers is.
Turret plate will fall soon. An ally has been slain. has been slain.
It's a trade off in my opinion. I personally like the independent angle because that means that a lot of people wouldn't be able to use promotion companies as an excuse to not fight the individual. So I personally like that angle, but to each their own when it comes to the business side perspective. A lot of people have a lot of different takes on that.
An ally has been slain.
No, yeah, I mean,
Enemy has been slain.
definitely, like I said, you definitely,
Turret has been
definitely right on that end.
an ally has been
I
slain.
just like the fact that fighters can go, anywhere. The only difference is their asking price, like because people move the goalpost on what a draw constitutes. Like like people will say, oh well, you sell 250,000 pay per view, so that isn't shit. You need to be selling this much to make it, to make things worth it. Da, 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 da. So people frequently move the goalpost for that. So it's a difficult set of circumstances when you're an independent fighter, but you're not the biggest draw on planet Earth, and especially if you know you can fight, then and you're a high risk fight, people feel like well the compensation isn't worth the risk of putting my fighter in there.
I
Yeah,
feel like it's a time and place in your career when you should be doing that. As a prospect, you should not be doing that. I feel like you should be locked down to one company and let them develop you. Yeah, like so like at the beginning of your career, focus on the fights. Don't focus on the business side, the money and nothing like that. Because you're gonna end up like Devin Haney.
and like I said, I don't think that's Devin Haney's fault. I just think that no matter who he was signed with, these people, he still wouldn't get these fights. I really do. I think that if he signed with Heyman, he'd get better fights than what he's dealing with now, probably. But he wouldn't get tanked. He wouldn't get tanked. He wouldn't get fucking Lomachenko. He wouldn't get Campbell. He wouldn't get these people. If he was signed with Top Rank, he wouldn't be getting these people. If he was signed with fucking DeBella, he wouldn't be getting these people. Like so, I really don't think that in Haney's case and a lot of fighters' cases that it matters. Like if Haney was some B level talent, yeah, you can make a case for that. But I don't think that's the situation.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I don't think he's gonna have as much luck from a fighter perspective up there either. I mean, will the top 5 or 10 be willing to fight him? Sure, but currently only one guy holds all the belts, and he's not gonna fight him. And honestly, we don't know what the politics at 140 are gonna turn into because at one point the politics at middleweight were the only ones that were fucked up,
An ally has
but
been
now all of a sudden
slain.
it went down to 115 and then it went down to 135. So we all know that it's not about boxing. It's past that. So wherever Devin Haney goes, the terrible politics that he's experiencing will most likely follow if he's in line to beat the wrong people. And I think y'all know exactly what I'm talking
Has been
about.
destroyed.
So if the fights get fucking made, it just depends. But like I said, it all depends on how the politics work out because, like we all didn't think that this year the WBA would be trying to push its fucking belt consolidation program after people have been calling for that bullshit for years, but they decided to do it this year, and then they almost fucked 147 up. So, like I said, the politics it's not about what individual. A lot of the time, it's not about what individual choices fighters make. It's the bodies and the promoters that move a certain way and
It's
like
also the fighters too. You can't. I would put the blame on the fighters because look at every division we had undisputed in. What is two things they had in common? One of the things is they was not overpopulated with American fighters. It wasn't. That's one of the things. When American fighters get in division, you do not see consolidation. When Terrence Crawford was at 140, majority of the people that was in the division were not Americans, and that's how we got the undisputed. When Josh Taylor get to the division, majority of people were not Americans, and that's how we got the undisputed. Now look at 135. When
do you
majority of the
mean
fighters were not American,
do you mean
huh?
American or black?
American, American. At 135, Lomachenko was unifying all them belts. And suddenly the belts get into the hands of American Teofimo Lopez. And suddenly we see no more unifications. We see all this pussy ass diva shit. We see Ryan Garcia on some hoe ass shit. Like none of that. When Americans overpopulate a division, nothing gets done.
How can American fighters prevent foreign sanctioning bodies from politically altering the boxing landscape via things like certain people being assigned mandatories, the franchise championship belt? How can American fighters combat things like that when foreign entities are the ones that complicate the politics? I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, my thing is that's like that stuff happens, yeah, but it's not preventing undisputed.
Well, it doesn't happen.
It
It
ain't
really
preventing
doesn't.
undisputed.
It's incredibly irregular. That's the point I'm making. Those things don't actually happen until certain people get in line to beat certain people. Like the franchise championship wasn't born. Like we've had 100 years of boxing, and the WBC has existed for X amount of years, and then all of a sudden in like 2016, 2017, we need a franchise. That wasn't a thing until they said it was. So these things don't happening. They're happening now and like and you can talk about Tiafimo, but the thing of it is that the franchise championship thing is what fucked up undisputed more than anything. And a Tiafimo is his own idiot. That's fine, and he is an American. But a foreign sanctioning body is what ultimately blew undisputed because the simple situation is that Devin Haney had the last piece, just like Andrade had the last piece, and here we are. So I think it's more of a black situation than just simply an American situation. Because if Devin Haney had gotten Lomachenko versus Campbell winner, then and just beat Devin Haney, we would have undisputed at 135 right now with an American versus a fucking Ukrainian. You know, and a lot of
Yeah.
those and those other divisions didn't have any franchise nonsense. Like 168, the franchise didn't come into play. 140, the franchise didn't come into play. But 160, it did. And lo and behold, 160 is not undisputed.
Yeah, true that, true that.
So,
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to put this fucking split together for my son.
no, it's no problem. So I can agree that American fighters and how Americans do business in boxing does play a role, but also we can't just bail the foreigners out because unfortunately they do have a large size. They do play a large role in American boxing as well. They've altered the destinies of lots of American fighters. Most of them, unfortunately, being Black American fighters.
Yeah, I said that they're purposely robbing our fighters of opportunities to become great. Like I'm telling you, if boxing was ran the way it was supposed to be ran, and contenders fight for the top contender spot, then fight the champion, you'll be seeing a lot of great black fighters. Yeah, the integration.
I've been calling this shit the no more Mayweather's doctrine for the longest time. I've been praying that it catches on. I've been saying that all this franchise nonsense, all this duckery, all this promotional nonsense, it's all just the no more Mayweather's doctrine. That's all it is.
But you know when you speak it when we they have it in a way where if we speak it on this and call it out, they're saying that we're being racist or whatever. But it's like, dude, let's be real, man. A lot of these fighters are robbed of those opportunities to become great. Devin Haney's one of them. Really think about it. Our
Yeah,
And
fighters, you
I
don't
feel
have to
like
worry
it's
about
up
our
to
fighters saying they're
us.
green or
It, would- it
anything.
would it would be up to us, the fans and the fighters, to get something done about that. Like you can't pick and choose when we mad when someone not getting the fight we're supposed to get and shit like that. Like you can't be mad that Lomachenko got franchised for Devin Haney, but we was fucking cheering that Stanley Otis didn't get his title fight, or that we okay with Gillian White not getting his chance to fight Tyson Fury. Like no, we have to be consistent with it. And these
well,
fucking fighters, they have to stop being gullible, man. You got to start putting the pressure on these fucking sanctioned bodies. Fuck they belts, bro. That hey, Marshall Super should not be fucking disrespecting you like this, bro. Fuck
well,
his belt
I
and
do
fuck
think
him.
I do think that Dillian White should have been getting his title shot. But the thing about the Stanionis situation is that Stanionis is in a position he shouldn't even been in. All of a sudden, the WBA wants to consolidate some shit. We're super close to undisputed, and this kid got 13 fights. So like that was ranking manipulation. He didn't earn that or anything.
Man, I just feel like Steve Wilson don't deserve no damn title shot. That shit don't make no sense.
He
And
don't.
it reminds me of what I was just reading earlier today, how fucking promoters pay sanctioning bodies to basically rig the fucking rankings.
100%. Tiafimo was trying to argue on ESPN that Devin Haney hadn't fought his way into a position to be able to fight him, and we're talking about fucking Tiafimo fought Lomachenko, and then Kambosos fought Tiafimo, and then they all took L's except Kambosos. Devin Haney got more fights than all of them niggas, and they're talking about how he
Literally.
hasn't, and they're talking about how he hasn't fought his way up yet, and I'm like, that's bullshit that you're talking, right? I'm like, if anyone never fought their way into a title shot justifiably, it's fucking Lomachenko. And Lomachenko took an L and then got an immediate title shot. So it's like, what are we talking about? I mean, they like to make fun of black fighters, like, oh, you have over 25 fights and what have you done? You have over 30 fights and what have you done? Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, give me the same political access you fucking enjoy and then watch me work. Give me franchise championships. Give me two drug test failure allowances. Give me the same set of circumstances you got and see if I don't whoop ass. It's that simple.
Man, I'm just saying, if Errol Spence was accused of doing the things that fucking Canelo did, man, his ass would be grass. Like,
It would be
especially
World
saying things
War.
like
Oh, go ahead.
saying things like, "Oh, I don't want to fight this person because he's from Mexico and I'm from Mexico." Like, man, there's no.
I think you cut out. Or
Yeah, you
Oh,
went out.
oh shit! Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said saying things like, "Oh yeah, fight this guy because he's a Mexican just like me." Imagine if Errol Spence said, "I don't want to fight Terrence Crawford because he's Black American like me."
Black people would get on Spence ass harder than anybody else for that shit too.
Facts.
They would get on. They would get on
Considering
his
that you've
bumper
been
super
fighting
tough.
Black Americans since you're 15.
See, but one thing is, I think differently in that situation. If it was a popular Mexican or a huge Mexican like threat to Canelo in this weight class, I don't think nobody would let him slide with saying that. But there's not a huge Mexican threat to him.
They're Zerto and Benavidez.
Benavidez is not Mexican, and Canelo said he doesn't consider Benavidez Mexican.
Okay, Zerto Ramirez is Mexican.
Wait, what is
that means
Zerto
no
Ramirez
chance
Benavidez?
of
is
him ever
shit.
fighting Zerto then.
What is
I heard Zerto
Benavidez?
He
used
said
to
he
be the
considers him
best for him in
American.
sparring.
Canelo said he
Benavidez.
considers Benavidez American.
What the fuck? Oh wow. So he's Mexican in heritage, but because he was born here, he considered. Man, that's a bunch of garbage.
But I'm bringing up Zerto though. Zerto's from Mexico, right?
Zerto is shit.
I don't know if he's shit. He got some good body shots.
Zerto is not shit, but he's
No
not
shit,
beating
bro. He's with
Canelo
the
either.
fucking war. He's not. He's
You don't
not
think
beating
he'll give
nobody in the
Canelo
division.
problems at 175?
No, I don't think he'd give anybody problems.
He don't think he'll get. What do you mean by anybody? Like you mean the champions?
Nobody in the top 10.
He'll give Bivol problems, but I think Bivol will beat him.
You
So
think
he
he
won't
would
give
better
Bivol
beef?
problems. He won't give Better Beef problems. He won't give Buatsi problems. He won't give Joe Smith Jr.'s problems. He
He'll give
won't
Joe
give
Smith Jr.
nobody
plenty of
problems, bro.
problems, bro. Yeah,
No,
no,
he won't. No,
Joe
he
Smith
won't. No, he
Jr.
no,
Stop,
no,
bro.
he won't. I
Zerto
seen him in his
fucking
last fight.
Zerto beat
I
fucking
s-
Joe
no,
Smith
I
Jr.
seen
I
him in
don't
his
know what
last
you're talking.
fight. Dude got rocked by a fucking journeyman. Joe
Joe
Smith
Smith
sleeps
Jr.
his
is
Whoa,
ass.
whoa,
still
whoa,
fucking
whoa!
solid.
You calling Gonzalez a journeyman for what? He got 3 L's.
He's a
What?
journeyman. He's on the journeyman level.
Bro, what are we talking? No.
Yeah,
Journeyman is
but
someone like
he's not Joe Smith.
Gabriel Rosado. Journeyman is someone like Gabriel Rosado. Gonzalez is a fucking. He's not a
That's the
journeyman,
level.
bro.
That's the level. That's the level he on.
Stop,
He's on Gabe Rosato's level.
stop that. He'll definitely. I'm not saying that he
You
guaranteed.
think
I'm not saying that he guaranteed beats Justin Jr., but he definitely gives Justin Jr. fucking problems. Fucking Justin Jr.